We are back. It's unbelievable. We are watching.
We're doing it live.
We're good pull. Good pull. That is a crazy brain rot pull. Also, by the way, brain rot word of the year from Oxford.
I know, right?
Broncos 3, Bengals 0. We are live. Football is live on a Saturday. Can you believe that? This is our first live show in over 2 years, Jack.
A long time.
Yeah,
it's been a long time since we've actually just straight up gone live. So we figured, since we haven't done a show in a couple weeks, we've been busy with a bunch of things, especially around the holiday season. We figured, why not do a live watch party? We would have done the Rams game. It would have been our third Rams Cardinals watch party. But he's got work, so
I gotta make some money tonight. And unfortunately,
made a business decision.
Unfortunately, we can't do one for the Boise State game because I will be there live, and that would probably break my phone trying to be live at the game. So, anyways, we have a football game on. Denver, nice little drive, matriculation down the field, 10 play, 58 yards. Will Lutz knocks through the field goal. We will have our normal episode of the Sports Desk kind of interspersed between the actual action of the game. But Denver, if they win, they lock up a playoff spot. Cincinnati, if they win, they don't lock up anything, but they stay alive. The Chargers, Jack's beloved Chargers, staved off the Patriots today in a blowout, one of the worst games of the season.
It doesn't help the Patriots that Drake May was also sidelined for a good chunk of it as well.
Yeah, that was a pretty
Chase
dirty
makes
hit.
A nice catch.
Pretty dirty hit. Not gonna lie. Yeah. Weird game. 5 straight primetime duds, by the way. Monday night sucked. Shutout. Packers win 34-0. Both Wednesday games were pretty crappy. Chiefs win in a blowout by 19. Ravens win in a blowout by 29. Thursday night football, probably the worst game in.
I did not think the Rams-Niners game with only field goals could be upset and have a worse Thursday night game. And then we had a 6-3 result. I'm angry because the Bears had opportunities to win that game or at least pull ahead, and they could not get it done, and that meant the Seahawks won. And of course, with me being a Rams fan, that means the Rams would need, I think, like a 4-team parlay to hit on Sunday, in addition to winning tonight. The Rams play the Cardinals in tonight's nightcapper, of course, and if they win that game and a few other results go their way, they need like 4 of a certain 6 teams to win their games, and then they clinch the division on strength of victory this week. Otherwise, failing that, they just win out and they're in.
Yeah, they play Seattle next week. Yeah, that helps.
But yeah, they do have to win tonight for that to be a remote possibility. Otherwise, next week will be a worthy candidate for Sunday Night Football because it'll be winning in for both teams.
Unfortunately, Jack, Vikings-Lions is going to be the pick. Sorry.
See, I think it could be too, but there's somebody asked me about that, and my thought process was, okay, Vikings-Lions is for the 1 seed, but Seahawks-Rams could quite literally be a win or go home, because both of those teams are still going to make the playoffs. But the Rams and Seahawks are both in the win or go home scenario. And that's what NBC loves. That's what the NFL loves.
Fair.
They like having their win or go home games.
Do we have Saturday games this year?
I don't know. It looks like the Bengals just got stuffed on 3rd down.
Tough scenes in Cincinnati.
I don't know what the schedule. I think we're going to have Saturday games next week, but I don't know what will come up. Also, is Andrew Whitworth calling this game? I think I hear his voice.
I would guess so. Rams Super Bowl champion, by the way. And
former Bengal, Andrew Whitworth.
Yes. All right, they're going for it. 4th and 2.
They lined up to go for it at least, but I think they're calling a timeout.
Yeah. Okay, so Jamar Chase motioned into the backfield on that play. Teams, to me, critically underutilize receivers as running backs. I know we joke about Debo and we joke about future Hall of Famer Cordell Patterson, but receivers and tight ends, for that matter, are the most effective runners of the football in the NFL. Like year over year. Now, it doesn't happen often, so I'm not saying this is like turn Jamar Chase into your running back and you'll be great. No, I'm not saying that. But utilize running backs, utilize receivers as running backs more, utilize tight end as running backs more. Baltimore does this with Mark Andrews doing the tush push because Mark Andrews is like 6'6". But all right, they do it. They're running the same play.
Oh, they needed a bit of a push, but I think one ref is spotting them short.
I don't love that. I don't know if you do like a bubble, like an orbit pass to Chase, and then he has an option. Maybe you have a route combination down the field, so maybe Chase can throw the football. You could have been more creative on that play and maybe picked it up.
I would have done just a QB sneak, probably.
That works.
Also, in my opinion, I tend to go for the simpler things on 4th and short. The ball should not be moving backwards. Like, just give it to the guy and then take it across the line. Don't drop back to pass unless your name is Matthew Stafford and you have Cooper Kupp on your team, but that's besides the point.
All right, Chain Gang.
Chain Gang is out.
Did you watch the Simpsons broadcast, by the way?
I did.
How was it?
It was good. I think I mentioned this on the show, though. I think me and a friend were like together watching.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, okay. We were watching at the same time. And like when they planted like Simpsons characters in the game, like it was delayed. So like when they planted characters in the game, you could tell, okay, something big is about to happen on this play.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to sync it up so that they both happened at the same time.
Gotcha.
But then, of course, once we saw the Simpsons characters, we still knew, okay, well, something's gonna happen.
Yeah, unless it was Milhouse.
Like Milhouse is gonna fumble or drop an incomplete pass, or Homer Simpson is gonna pick off Bart Simpson.
That I will say was quite a funny. I like the idea. They could have executed a little bit better. Did you see the Mickey Mouse themed basketball?
I saw bits and clips of that. I don't even remember what too many things from that. I know that one of the characters, I forget whether it was Goofy or Donald Duck, just went off from 3 points or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was Donald, because he was the Michael Bridges stand-in, and Bridges went bananas. Fantasy team. I actually have both Bridges, Miles, and Michael. So
I unfortunately have been eliminated from the fantasy playoffs. I'm pretty sure.
Tough.
I won last year, so it was going to be hard to one up, but it is what it is.
I have words. Josh Allen, we need to have a conversation, pal. I picked you to win MVP on this show back in September. I've defended you. I've picked you to win MVP multiple times. I drafted you in both of my fantasy leagues on Sleeper, and you reward me with an arm punt, and I lose by under 2 points. If Josh Allen, if you don't throw that darn interception, I would have won both leagues. I would have won both matchups, both semifinal matchups, and gotten the payout. But no. So Josh Allen, we have beef, and it actually doesn't extend to the MVP race. We have beef, my friend.
Legitimate beef.
Actually, this is the second biggest beef in Josh Allen versus Splash history, because Josh Allen delivered the most painful loss of my lifetime. Boise State, Wyoming, Laramie, Wyoming, 2016, 28-28, Boise State ball, about a minute 30 left, minute 15 left. Boise State has one timeout, I think. They're inside their 20. Ball gets snapped over, I think it was Brett Rippon at the time. Ball gets snapped over Brett Rippon's head out of the back of the end zone. Safety. Wyoming leads by 2, and you have to kick it back to them. Game over.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Truly the worst loss I've ever taken as a fan of any team in any sport. Because every other thing like happens, right? You've seen teams get walked off punt return, walk off kick return in overtime, defensive touchdowns. There's a safety in that one Dolphins-Bengals game. MLB, you've seen walk-off home runs before. Like, there's a chance in MLB a tie game, there's a chance you lose, right? Basketball, you know what's going to happen, right? Hockey, it's a tie game anyways, right? But football, you have the ball, and the defense doesn't do anything. It's not like the defense made a great play. There's a pick six in the Boise State, Oklahoma Fiesta Bowl, right? So it's 28-28. Zabransky throws a pick six. That dozens and dozens and dozens of teams have lost that way. You throw a pick six on your final drive, tie game, you throw a pick six. That has happened before. I've done that in Madden. The Ravens, I don't think I've necessarily seen the Ravens do that, but there's been NFL teams that have done that. College football teams have done that. That's a normal way to lose. But this play, the defense does nothing. The defense could have been off the field, bad snap. It doesn't matter. It's the Seahawks Broncos Super Bowl, right? The first play of that game, over the head. Or the Steelers Browns, they had a play like that. The Browns did recover, but you get what I'm saying. That is the worst loss I've ever experienced as a fan. So in Laramie,
you have me thinking about what's the worst loss I've ever seen as a fan. I honestly couldn't tell you. The Super Bowl against New England a few years ago was pretty brutal.
Yeah, but that there was no that wasn't one play, right?
Yeah. It feels like it kind of was though. Like it wasn't like
interception.
That, but also the pass to Gronk, because it's like the only thing that any team did the whole entire game, and I don't know. I guess I'm not a Saints fan though, so I didn't experience the worst loss that season.
That is fair, but even then, that game went to overtime.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, that's pass interference aside, that was still pretty brutal. Actually, I don't know what's more brutal, the no call or the Minneapolis Miracle.
Okay, and that one's a fair point to add. I will say with the Minneapolis Miracle, we've seen plays like that before. We've seen Hail Mary touchdowns. Yeah, we have. Like that is I don't want to say normal occurrence or regular occurrence. We saw one this year. Heck, Washington has been a part of 2 Hail Mary touchdowns in 2 seasons. Do we all remember when Denver converted on a Hail Mary and failed the 2-point conversion last year? That was wild. Helped Russ's stats out a lot. But like Hail Marys happen, like walk-off touchdowns happen, but basically a walk-off safety. I mean, I can only remember the one NFL instance with the Dolphins and
we got a third down here.
Dolphins Bengals.
Bo Nix is on the run. Doesn't quite get the edge. He's out of bounds. Close to the marker, but it looks like he's well short.
I got a question for you, Jack. Rookie quarterbacks, a couple of them are playing today. I want you to rank the big 4 quarterbacks from this draft class. And the scope here is in 5 years, who will be the best? When we do this show entering the 2030 season, who will be the best out of Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May? Who will be the best?
I mean, early sample size, you have to go Jaden Daniels number 1. Mm-hmm. Again, that's just on the early small sample size, but Daniels has looked very, very, very good to start his career. I don't hate what I've seen out of Bo Nix either. Why am I forgetting the other 2?
Caleb and Drake May.
I think I'm gonna go May at 3 and then Williams at 4. They've all got potential, but I feel like based on like the way that they're like developing so far in year 1, obviously it is a very early sample size, but I feel like that's how I would rank them now. I don't really see a current reason to like move one above the other or below the other. So I don't know. It's obviously very tough to say for sure because one of them could go on to have like an injury or something. Like Carson Wentz was incredible in 2016, and then in 2017 he tore his ACL or something like that happened against the Rams, and he was never the same again. So I obviously don't want to say something like that will happen because we don't hope for injuries. We're seeing people here, but that's just kind of how I see it right now.
That's fair. And I think it's tough because you still want to have some of your priors baked in. Like Caleb was an unbelievable prospect coming out of USC. And there's a reason he was the number 1 overall pick. And there's a reason, at least I was kind of high on the Bears, and I'm okay with that. I've thought about it, and I know there's a group chat that's like, oh, you picked the Bears to make the playoffs. It's like, yeah, I don't hate that. I know they didn't. I know they're 4-12, right? I know that that's bad, and 4-12 teams aren't going to make the playoffs. But I don't feel horrible about making that pick. It's just some things that they lost like 6 games in a row that were very winnable. You have the Hail Mary game. You have the blocked field goal against Green Bay. You lose an overtime game against Minnesota. You have the game against Seattle. That's 4 games out of this 10-game losing streak, right? If you flipping those 4 games in particular seems a little disingenuous, but for the sake of argument, if you flip those games, they're 8-8, right? And you have the Lions game in there that they didn't call a timeout. So that's 5 games. You flip 4 of them, they're 8-8, right? And that's okay. Some years 9-8 gets you in the playoffs. Some years 9-10 wins gets you in the playoffs. This year, no, but you're just in a tough situation, and every person has their own way of like methodology here of, how much do you measure your priors versus what you've seen this year versus what you think you're going to see in the coming years. And I do like what I've seen out of Bo Nix. I wonder if it's a case of he's the most pro-ready of the group, besides Jaden. But Jaden fits in the same bucket that he was a 5-year starter in college. He had 3 years at Arizona State, 2 years at LSU. Bo Nix started a game against Justin Herbert in college football. Auburn, Oregon.
Oh, that's a bad drop. Who is that on the Bengals? Number 88.
Is that Gesicki, right?
I think so.
Mike? Yeah.
Yeah, Burrow was on the run and he found him. He got both hands on the ball and dropped it. Or no, he didn't even get both hands on the ball.
Burrow's was it so good,
slightly?
Man.
I don't know.
Oh, Burrow is so good, man.
Yeah, that was a good play by Burrow under pressure. So
if I had to rank the 4, I think I'll go Jaden 1. I still trust Caleb. I think he'll figure it out. I know some of the leadership.
Oh, Gesicki made up for it. Wow, what a play!
Some of the leadership stuff. Also, nice play by 55 to get a tip on the drop. What's his freaking? Oh, Cody Barton. That's right. He was traded from Seattle. I would go Jaden 1, Caleb 2, Drake May 3. And then, then Bo Nix 4.
You got air.
Got air, yeah. I respect it. I like what Bo Nix has done this season. I do wonder if there is a limited ceiling there. And I will say a lot of it is very, I don't want to say cheap production, but it's a lot of screens and it's a lot of short passes. And this was part of his issue at Oregon. It's just like, now, this was also a Justin Herbert thing at Oregon. That's like, this is just not an offense that you can really judge a quarterback on. And if you watched Oregon Justin Herbert, he looked more like Tyrod Taylor almost, which is a very strange,
bitter irony right there. Because Tyrod getting hurt by the team doctor is what led to Herbert's first start.
I forgot about that. He looked more like Tyrod Taylor in that offense. It's just like screens and some quarterback runs and short passes and not a lot of creativity. And then in the NFL, he has a hose and I've called him a social media quarterback. He's legitimately been excellent this season. And he's in a tough spot that he's might be the 5th best quarterback in his own conference. He probably won't be a Pro Bowler this year, unfortunately. Who's your AFC Pro Bowl quarterbacks? You got Lamar in there. You got Allen, Burrow, Mahomes, Herbert.
I think my top 2 right now are Allen and Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. Let's be honest. I just don't know if his strong play though is really going to be or has really been a factor into a lot of the Chiefs wins too, especially when you look at all the 1-score games the Chiefs are winning because they'll make some miracle play on special teams or something like that, or the Baltimore game where they lost by a toe.
Don't remind me.
Stuff like that is all I'm saying. It hasn't really I don't know if Mahomes has really exploded this year is the point that I'm making. We sort of just expect him to be good.
Mm-hmm.
And he's so far, he's been good enough for the Chiefs to be, what is it,
15-1 now.
15-1. So yep. I knew it was and 1. I just didn't know what, but yeah.
And 1. So I have some concern is not the right word. I have some takes here, and I think with Mahomes, the shape of the production is just different from other seasons, and I think he has a chance to be the third quarterback. I agree that Allen and Lamar, the first two, they are 100% to me the top two. And then you get into the conversation. I would exclude Herbert here, although he was excellent again today. It's between Mahomes and Burrow, and it boils down in a lot of ways to the team record. Mahomes and the Chiefs are 15-1. Burrow and the Bengals are 7-8. Could be 7-9 here in 2 hours. Burrow leads the NFL in passing yards, leads the NFL in passing touchdowns, and Mahomes is short of 4,000 yards right now. He's about 36 fewer yards per game than Burrow. His QBR is 6 points lower. His passer rating is 15 points lower. And of course, Burrow is playing now, so his stats are going to be a little bit different. But Mahomes does have 5 fourth quarter comebacks. He has 7 game-winning drives, which is crazy. And since like mid-October, he's been unbelievable. He has 6 straight starts. He hasn't thrown a pick. In that span, he has 11 touchdowns. He had a huge game against Pittsburgh, his second 300-yard game in that stretch. And, of course, he brings a little bit of that ground element. 60 rushing yards against Carolina, 33 yards and a touchdown against Houston. And he is a big reason why the Chiefs win all these games. And I think that can get lost when the Chiefs do have a great defense. And they do have, in theory, a great special teams unit. I know Butker missed an extra point the other day. But, they have the number one defense in the NFL. They're allowing 18 points per game. And they're only 11th in offense. But that 11th in offense kind of buries the lead because they are a ball control offense. They are 14th in the NFL in rush attempts. They're first in the NFL in average time of possession per drive. First in the NFL in plays per drive. And they're not going to kind of blow you out like they have in years past.
Joe Burrow under all kinds of pressure there, and he goes down.
Tough scenes. Only one 400-yard game for the Chiefs this year, and that was against the Saints, and the Saints, of course, are miserable. But they only have a handful of these blowout wins. They beat Pittsburgh by 19, San Francisco by 10, New Orleans by 13, Cleveland by 14. That's it. They have 4 wins by more than 10 points. And by more than one score, and that obviously isn't going to move the needle crazy. But they're number 1 on third down. They're number 3 on fourth down. They've scored on half their red zone, scored touchdowns on half their red zone drives. So I don't know. I don't know if you put Mahomes in there. Burrow's been better this season. He got walloped.
Laundry on the field here.
But I don't know. I can make the case for Mahomes. I think you can also make a reasonable case for Burrow too. And of course, someone's probably going to opt out, and Mahomes or Herbert are going to end up in the Pro Bowl. So maybe Mac Jones will make it again.
Or somebody just makes the Super Bowl and it doesn't even matter.
Right.
That is why I always tell people, really quick, we had an illegal hands to the face called against the Denver defense. So it's going to be first down. But Jamar caught the ball anyway, so I don't even know whether they will decline or accept, but who cares? I forget what I was saying. This is why I always tell people every year, I don't want any Rams players in the Pro Bowl.
You want them in a different bowl.
I want them in a much different bowl that gets played 2 weeks later. Or I guess it's the Pro Bowl games now, but you get the point. Yeah. Same thing, basically.
We could fill out our Pro Bowl rosters.
Yeah, we could do that.
That might be a good halftime segment.
I think that would be a good halftime segment. Actually, is Pro Bowl. I don't even know how much longer it's open for, but yeah, we might as well.
Let's see.
Look into that.
The ballot is closed.
Okay,
that's lame. When does it come out?
Probably next week, if I had to guess.
Thank you, NFL, for giving me ads while I'm watching your product. Let's see. So I'm not getting any information here. Okay. Okay. So the voting closed on Monday.
Okay, so probably next. I don't really know when they typically.
And then players and coaches casted their votes yesterday.
Another good throw by Bird to sticky under pressure, but he doesn't really get too much of a gain out of it. But it is a gain.
I guess they'll announce them next week.
Logically, they would announce them next week.
Yeah.
I don't really remember like the past precedent too.
Yeah. This is a goofy one because it's the only sport that it's not mid-season.
Yeah.
Like hockey, baseball, basketball, it's all like mid-season. It ends up being like 60% of the way through the season or whatnot, depending on the sport. But it is nice getting a full year's worth of production, so you don't have as many weird Pro Bowlers.
Oh, right? Nice catch by T.
You don't have as many of those weird ones. That's like a great first half, and then they stink in the second half. Like Brian LaHare comes to mind in baseball, or Bryce Elder 2 years ago for the Braves. Like you have the crazy first half, and you stink in the second half.
Joe Burrow took a shot from McMillan. He was doing a blitz from the secondary on that play, but he still completed it to T. Higgins.
Now, who pays T. Higgins this offseason?
That's a good question.
I don't think it'll be Cincinnati. Mike Brown doesn't have the cash for that, fortunately for us non-Bengals fans, but unfortunately if you are Joe Burrow and or a Bengals fan.
I have some Rams fans friends who wouldn't hate seeing him join. I feel like we're a little bit loaded at receiver right now, though. So, but you never know. You could always use another one every now and then. It doesn't hurt.
I think that could be a good one. I know New England. That could be a great spot for T. Higgins. Let's see, the Giants. If you pair him up with Malik Neighbors, that could be fun.
I think the Giants also, though, they're kind of, especially if you're a receiver like T. Higgins, you're going to want to find out who your long-term QB situation is because Daniel Jones is gone. I don't know if Tommy DeVito is going to be the guy long-term.
Oh, God.
The Giants, whoever else it is that's starting for them right now. I don't even remember. That's how bad it is for the Giants. Oh, yeah, it is long.
Yeah. Let's see. NFL draft order. I believe the Giants hold the number 1 pick. So that's true. That could be
that could help.
That could be a part of the secret sauce here. If you are T. Higgins, the Giants probably by mid-March know who they're taking at quarterback, taking at 1, whether that's Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders or Quinn Ewers or any number of quarterbacks. This is we're not big draft guys here, especially not before the draft, but that is a truly bizarre set of quarterbacks. They could take one of them. And whoever they take, T. Higgins could be your wide receiver 1. Well, Neighbors is awesome though, man. But Neighbors, you filled up the wide receiver room, you filled up the tight end room. So I wouldn't hate that if you're T. Higgins and you can ask them, hey, who's going to be the quarterback? New England, you know who the quarterback's going to be. It's going to be Drake May. I'll just go down the draft order because that's easy.
Really quick though. Before we get started, we do have a 1st and goal, so
fair.
You should probably pay attention to that.
True.
First play doesn't get a whole lot, though. It's going to be 2nd down. 2nd and 6.
Jack, do you know which team has the longest active winning streak right now?
The longest active winning streak?
Yes.
I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't think it's that high because I know Buffalo. I feel like Kansas City is the easy answer, but
they are 2nd. They've won 6 in a row.
So who won 7 in a row? Bengals are gonna have to use a timeout on 2nd down. It's actually not goal to go. I was wrong. They can get to like the 1 or the 2 without getting a touchdown, but still get a 1st down. Longest active winning streak. Not the Vikings, is it?
Yes, it is. Minnesota's
it
won
is.
8
Wow. Okay.
straight. Yeah.
They've won 8 straight. Okay.
Yeah. The Rams have won 4 in a row. This would be Cincinnati's 4th win in a row. Washington, Baltimore have won 3 in a row. Okay. I'm going to throw this out there. Humongous shout out to Baltimore and Kansas City. 3 games in 10 days, they go 3-0. Or sorry, 3 games in 11 days, they go 3-0. I know not exactly the stiffest competition. Baltimore gets the Giants for one of those games.
It's still hard to do that, though. Like, it's still really hard.
Is incredible. Well, Pittsburgh lost 3 straight, and Houston lost 2 out of 3. So that is the kind of thing that if you're Baltimore and you're going into the playoffs, you can look at your team and you can say, these guys were tired, but they went out and balled. They went into Christmases Houston. went into Houston on Christmas. Beyonce did the halftime show, and to use a line from Chris Broussard, you put your feet up and they made you a sandwich in their trap. That was Broussard is hilarious. But yeah, big props to Baltimore and Kansas City. The going got tough for them. 3 games in 11 days. They went 3-0. It didn't matter to them. Baltimore, that was off a loss too. You have 2 weeks to sit on it. The loss at Philly, Tucker misses the kicks. Which is a strange game all around, but you've answered the call the last couple weeks here.
As usual, I get frustrated when people mention the whole Mickey Mouse sort of things, but it pisses me off about how or I guess it doesn't piss me off, but it does bug me a little bit when people talk about in the middle of their Super Bowl season a few years ago, the Rams people were saying oh, they got special treatment from the NFL because the game against Seahawks got moved to Tuesday because everyone had COVID. And it's you do realize that means they have to play a Monday night game 1 week, and then they go play on a Tuesday the following week, and then they don't get a break when they go to Minnesota to play on Sunday in the early window.
And they all have COVID.
Yeah, a lot of people have COVID. So that was the first watch party we ever did. I remember that the Monday night game against Arizona, and
yes,
they didn't have Jalen Ramsey for that game.
Mm-hmm.
He had COVID. He was out. And a couple other people were out too. So,
but man, the worst was the Ravens Steelers when it got pushed back 3 different times. I think it was supposed to be Thanksgiving Thursday night. Then it gets pushed back to Sunday at 3, and then Tuesday and then Wednesday.
Yeah, it ended up being a Wednesday game. The point I'm trying to make is that it's not special treatment. It's not a team is being favored by the NFL, so they get their game pushed back or whatever, because if anything, it makes it harder because then they have to do a lot of games in a short span of time, and you get tired from that. That can be really taxing on a team. So it's
and does it screw the other team over? Yes, it does a little bit. Yeah, it screwed
in a way.
Steelers
Yeah,
over.
it does.
It screwed Seattle over. What have you? Yes,
that's special treatment though.
Fair, but they aren't the ones dealing with COVID as an outbreak. And
Gesicki dropped it.
People love to point out, well, Denver had to play with Kendall Hinton at quarterback. Yeah, there's a difference between losing your quarterback room, 3 guys to COVID, and losing your entire, half of your team, right? The Ravens had 25 guys on the COVID IL. It's I'm sorry. It's just a viral disease. There's a multi-year pandemic. Come on, man.
I've literally had to try and avoid it over this last week or so, actually. But
yeah, we had to delay one of our shows because I got it 2 years ago.
I'm pretty sure we did a show while I had it too at one point, but I don't know if we delayed it. But I was not
2 years.
KO'd by it. I was functioning a little bit by the time we did the show, so you guys probably didn't even notice.
Feel like that.
We have a 3rd and goal for Cincinnati. We can get back to your quarterback list later too. I forgot I interrupted that. I'm sorry.
Yes.
We'll get back to that for the next ad break, I guess. But we do have 3rd and goal. If my head keeps swerving, I'm also watching hockey on the other screen. Kings and Oilers have tied it too.
Be like that.
Here we go. 3rd and goal. Burrow takes the snap. Throwing. He's got Jamar, and he drops the ball.
Oh, God. Speaking of hockey,
that was broken up.
Have you seen the Connor Bedard ad?
I love that ad.
Yeah.
The kids these days with Sidney Crosby at the end. That's a good ad. I love that ad.
Oh, man. Can we have a throwback to like 3 months ago when I said, don't let Denver in the playoffs? Denver can clinch a playoff spot right here.
That they can.
Oh, Jamar, how do you drop? Oh, man, that's a rough drop.
That's on Jamar, too. All right, they're lining up to go for it on 4th and goal. They take the snap. I don't know if somebody jumped there. Burrow looked like he wanted to run with it for a little bit. Oh, he's going to get sacked from behind. Oh, Burrow was second-guessing himself the whole play. He looked like he wanted to run for it. He looked like he wanted to pass. And then by the time it looked like he had made up in his mind that he was going to run for it, he hesitates a little bit, and he gets sacked from behind.
Man, a double drop there for Jamar on the 3rd down play. I feel like right off the face, too.
75 got away with a false start. But I don't know for sure. But either
Benito
way,
looked like he moved pretty quick, too. Benito's had one whale of a season.
That's true.
He's like been an unheralded member of this Denver defense. He's a big reason why they are in a playoff spot and can clinch today. And obviously Bo Nix gets a lot of the headlines as the rookie quarterback, but this defense can ball out, man. And
yeah. Both things that I'm watching are ad breaks right now. So
the worst is when you have the 7 hours of red zone football.
7 hours of commercial-free football.
It's not commercial-free anymore.
Sneak an ad in there.
Can't believe it.
Here's what I will say in defense. It's been commercial-free, but it's not ad-free because they will put up an ad on the screen every now and then for like DraftKings or whatever else, like odds that they have or something like that. So
that's fair.
I guess, I don't know.
They do got to pay the bills.
The week before, though, or last week, it was commercial-free.
Fair.
So
fair.
I won't be able to judge it tomorrow, though. I'll be out of the house all day.
Yeah, I will be watching tomorrow. That's one nice thing.
Thank goodness the Rams play tonight because now I can go enjoy Crypto.com Arena tomorrow.
There's another Minute Maid. It will not be Minute Maid as of January 1st.
Oh yeah, the Astros Stadium, right? We got
Yep. It'll be Daikon. Something like that. I think it's Daikon Radish, but I don't know. I want to say it's Daikon.
Let's Google it.
Minute Maid Park. It'll be called
Daikin. I don't know how it's spelled. Daikin Park.
Daikin.
I think my favorite stadium renaming joke. The Chicago White Sox Stadium got renamed from Guaranteed Rate Field to Rate Field because the wins are not guaranteed.
Alex from LAR had
2-on-1 for the Kings.
Oh my god!
They don't
score. So shout out to Alex from Losses Above Replacement. Why can't I find it? Because this was a banger. Dang, they changed their name of their field. I guess really nothing is guaranteed anymore.
Oh, that was so weird. Did that get caught? No, it didn't get caught. We almost had an immaculate reception.
Oh, God.
The ball fell harmlessly incomplete. It was a pass from the end zone by Bo Nix, and I think an O-line or a D lineman tipped it. It looked like he almost passed it right to the lineman, like the defensive lineman almost intercepted it.
That would be, like, honestly so based. Like, just handing out Christmas presents. I respected Bo Nix, more like Bo Picks.
Well, we've had a double revenge goal moment in this Kings-Oilers game because both Warren Fogle and Victor Arvidsson have goals. Unfortunately, Arvidsson's goal just happened, so now the Oilers have a 3-2 lead. They're running it. I don't know who has the ball there. Adkins had the ball, but he's short of the line again.
Do you like Denver's uniforms?
I do. They've grown on me. I wasn't really sure what to think of them at first, but having seen them on the field now, they look better.
Mm-hmm.
I like the helmets, like the matte finish that they have on the helmets. I like it when Denver teams do the 5-2-8-0.
I like that sometimes. If it's the whole brand, no. Like when Denver does it.
The Nuggets.
When Denver does it.
when Denver does it. Yeah, exactly.
Who else would do it? When the Nuggets do it, they make it like the whole shtick. But I like it as like a piece of the helmet.
Yeah, I think what they did, like in the Nuggets case, I can kind of forgive it because it's a City Edition jersey and it's like it's an alternate uniform. They're not going to wear it every game, so it's whatever. But in the case of the Broncos, like it's part of their primary helmet, but it's included in like such a subtle way that it doesn't like scream out at you like, oh, there you go.
Right. It's like how Indianapolis has like the C. They have the C logo that the negative space is Indiana. That's really cool. That doesn't need to be your whole shtick, but if that's like the tag, like the NFL tag here, if that's like the tag, I like that. I like that. I think that's pretty straightforward. So, I mean, big time stop here for Cincinnati. You get the ball in reasonable field position. And I wonder if they will fail on fourth down for the third drive in a row.
Honestly, a lot of teams have cooked with their alternate uniforms this year. I like Detroit's. I like the Panthers have a black helmet that looks cool.
New England, the throwbacks are always great.
Yeah, New England tends to do pretty well. I got really confused watching Buffalo wear red jerseys against the Patriots because I kept thinking the red team was the Patriots.
Yeah, that'll happen. Not to bring up bad memories, but Purple Rising Ravens, love it.
It's good. I like it.
Tylan Wallace and the perp and the color rush is just the greatest player ever, I guess.
I need the Rams to wear the all blue combo more often. It's so underrated. Everyone hates it for some reason, and it looks completely fine.
Does anyone like any Rams jerseys? Because I know the Bone was getting like
the Bone. It's funny because it's gone back and forth among the fan base. Like some people love it and some people hate it. I like the color. I don't like the design. I don't like how there's like just a box, like a white box in the middle of like the rest of the uniform is like an off-white color, but then you have like an actual like white box that has the word mark in there, and it's like it just looks goofy to put off-white next to actual white, and then like I don't know. I feel like the primary like home and away combo, they fixed the away uniforms. I feel like those get relatively liked among the fan base. I think that they're looking forward to seeing if there's an alternate uniform next year. I'm going to shut down now the idea of a total and complete rebrand that some people dream of having, because there are some rather toxic people within the fan base online that want it to happen, and it's like, the team doesn't want to move that direction anymore. I know how much you like the throwbacks. I agree that they had their iconic throwbacks, but they're called throwbacks for a reason, and the team wants to move forward. So.
I do wonder when Baltimore is going to have like a jersey redesign, because I think the jerseys are fine. And I own a bunch of them, every color, right? But it does give me like 2000s vibes or 2010s vibes. And I think there are some teams that could use like a bit of an update. Carolina, Atlanta had the update. Arizona had the update. Denver updated. Cincinnati updated. So I wonder when Baltimore is going to join those teams. They need to do it right, of course, but I'm intrigued when they'll pull the trigger on the update.
Yeah, it's something that you've got to handle it pretty delicately, too, because rebrands don't happen often in sports. And in the NFL, you're only allowed to do it. When you have it, you're stuck with it for 5 years. So you have to like really like settle on something that you're going to say, like, we can confidently say this is the future of what we want the identity of this team to be. And this is like the logo that we want kids to like, who are just now getting interested in the team. This logo is going to be like all over their rooms and stuff like that. So.
I'm not proposing they redesign the logo. I'm just proposing maybe a new jersey.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. I just mean rebrands in general, but yeah. They should. You guys absolutely should leave the logo alone.
Yeah.
Although I do find it funny how both the Ravens and Seahawks have recently made use of front-facing logos, and they just both look so weird.
Whoa!
A couple years ago,
Seattle front-facing is new to me.
That's not new. It's a couple years old now, I think.
Seahawks front-facing?
You're gonna scream when you see it.
Okay. The greatest front-facing logo of all time is the Chief Wahoo. Oh God. This
is a couple years old.
This is a cursed image.
It is extremely cursed.
Cursed.
The front-facing Seahawk. There's a pass from Burrow to I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name.
Yoshivas.
Number 80 is.
Yeah, Yoshivas.
Okay.
Yoshi. Okay. I have a take. I'm going to die on this hill. If the Bengals let T. Higgins go and put Andre Yoshivas into the T. Higgins role, there will not be a drop-off. Yoshivas is really friggin' good, man. He is really
interesting take there.
He's really friggin' good.
Ooh. Hey, you pay attention. You pay more attention to this division than I do.
Oh my gracious! Now I gotta look at
because
Eagles front facing.
There's an edition of the Rams logo that's front facing too, like the Ram head logo. I have it on this shirt. You can see it.
Yes.
I can lean the right way. They have like Jumbotron graphics where like they make a 3D version of that logo that's front facing, but it looks a bit weird.
That's hilarious. Bill's front facing logo. Oh man. Okay, I think I've asked this before, but trivia. There are 3 NFL teams that do not have a symmetrical helmet design. What are the 3 teams?
Oh, what a catch, Jamar. That was a big gain for the Bengals. I know the Steelers are one.
Correct.
Because
they only have the decal on one side.
One decal on the other side. I'm going to be looking at my mini helmets to cheat.
Which does make it goofy for like graphics purposes, like when the NFL in particular does their graphics and they have like the playoff stuff.
Yeah, like they have like
standings update. Like I would hate to be a designer because you have to flip the helmet if they like are the road team versus
if it's not symmetrical, then it's like weird. Are we talking about stuff like with the Chiefs? Because like the arrowhead is like reversed.
Yes, so
but
the Chiefs and the Ravens, they flip the lettering is flipped.
Okay, so is that what you're going for? Okay,
yeah, like San Francisco, it's the same, even though they have the SF and the Giants NY, those are the same. But the Ravens, the Ravens have the B like flips within the bird.
Yeah,
so the bird is facing forward both times, and the B faces like looks like a normal B both times. Deek. And KC is the same thing, and of course the Eagles, they have the helmet.
This is the 3D front-facing Rams logo. If the camera will focus, it's not. I have bright lighting.
Huh. I'm intrigued here.
You can't really see it that great from the lighting. The lighting in my room is all weird. Yeah, I don't.
Oh well, the answers are Bills. Ravens, Chiefs, and Steelers.
Ravens, Chiefs. Yeah, I'm just looking at helmets because I don't know. I don't even know how up to date. I think the NFC West is the only division on here that I have up to date. I think the rest of these, I wouldn't be surprised if the rest of them are though, because the standings I don't think have shifted that much.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had 1 or 2 in like the wrong spot, I wouldn't be surprised. I like Washington's. I like their matte red color that they have.
Ooh, they're wearing all burgundy on Sunday Night Football.
Oh, that'll be good. That'll look really good.
This is the first time I can remember Washington in a big Sunday night game.
Yeah.
Because Washington doesn't get Sunday night game.
They haven't been in a Sunday night game like this or in like a high stakes primetime game like that in a while. And I think that's just a testament to like the new ownership and the hype surrounding them and Jaden Daniels and what he can do. And Terry McLaurin, people like that.
Jonathan Allen's coming back for this game. That's a huge
That's a huge get for them. Jonathan Allen coming back. That's big.
And also Atlanta. Shout out to Atlanta. They they've played some garbage teams. They've played the Giants in recent weeks, but they've gotten it straightened out. They currently lead the NFC South because Tampa pooped their pants against Dallas. I cannot believe that game happened. But whatever. Atlanta, hey, if you win your last 2 games, you are in the playoffs. So that's all that matters.
Same thing with the Rams.
True.
Yeah, really, we've just entered that period of it doesn't really matter how you win games, you just need to win them, and then whatever happens. Like it's a survive and advance league.
Yep, and now most teams just win week 18 and win your playoff games. It's just you got to do it.
Whether it's you beat the Jets by what was it 19-9, or if you beat San Francisco 12-6 with no touchdowns.
I have a take, Jack. So the Jets started 2-1, and they missed a field goal against Denver and lost at home. My take is if Greg Zuerlein makes the 50-yard field goal, the Jets are a playoff team.
Maybe.
Why I say that? The Jets, more than any other team in the NFL, are vibes. The Bears, I think, fall into this group too, but they're vibes.
I agree.
So they lost that game. They lose the next week in London on the weird Rodgers to Mike Williams play, like the timing route screws it up. They lose that one, and then they lose the following week to the Bills on the last drive. You are 2-4 when you really could have been 5-1 or 4-2 at the very worst. And that just the season's off the rails. And it's done. Season's done. You're 2-4. It's done. You lose to Pittsburgh. You lose to the Patriots. You're done. And I think the Bears kind of fell in the same trap that they were 4-2, about to be 5-2. Then you have the Tyreek Stevenson, the Hail Mary play. And if they win that game, they're 5-2. Vibes are good. You beat a good team in Washington. And I definitely don't think they lose their next 9 games after that if they don't screw up the Hail Mary. But then you screw up the Hail Mary and everything spirals, and now you're 4-12 and you're staring at like a top 8 draft pick.
It's tough for me to say with the Rams whether they're like a vibe type team, because I can kind of say that, yes, but then you have to remember they were also hurt, but they've played in a lot of 1-score games this year. So like that, you lose in overtime to Detroit, but then they get blown out by Arizona and they're all hurt in that game. So it's just,
I would say the Rams are not as much of a vibes team. I think they have enough veteran leadership, and you have Sean McVay that they were in a bad place. They were 2-4. If the Jets started 2-4, they did actually. If the Bears started 2-4, those seasons are done. The Bears are going to go 4-12, 4-13. The Jets are going to go 5-12. Right? The Rams flipped it around. The Chiefs last year, they were down in the dumps. Then they flip it around. They go win the Super Bowl. The Ravens started 0-2. They turn around. They beat Dallas. They beat Buffalo, and they're off and rolling. I think Cincinnati, I know they might not make the playoffs, but they started 2-4 as well, and they're going to probably end it with either 8 or 9 wins. And they flipped the script on what could have been a really, really ugly season. Now it's an ugly season if they miss the playoffs. They know that. Joe Burrow knows that, but they flipped it around. So I think Cincinnati, the Rams, Baltimore, Kansas City, some of these teams are much more like, I don't want to say week to week, but they can compartmentalize. They can say, okay, we lost last week. We didn't play well last week. That's not going to bleed into this week's game. But on the other hand, they can have that momentum, positive momentum, grow throughout the season, I think.
Yeah.
As well. Minnesota, I think, is a vibes team that they are good vibes right now and just absolutely rolling. But they could be a case of Detroit smacks them around week 18, and then you have to turn around and you go at Tampa or at Atlanta. They could lose that game. That could be a big letdown. I would not be shocked. That could also be a Detroit outcome, by the way, too. Yeah. They lost to Tampa earlier in the season. Gonna throw that out there.
Okay, so we can't obviously gloss over the touchdown. The Joe Burrow found T. Higgins in the end zone. Higgins was running across the middle and beat his man to the middle of the end zone. Burrow found him on the run, and it is now 7-3 after the extra point.
That could be the final T. Higgins touchdown in Cincinnati, by the way.
It could be. There's a chance.
It could be.
It is 7-3. There is 1 minute, 49 seconds left in the second quarter.
Joe Burrow, first Bengals quarterback, 40 touchdowns in a season.
Good stuff from Joe Burrow.
Not Carson Palmer, not either of their MVPs from the 80s, Ken Anderson, Boomer Esiason, not John Kitna, not Achilles Smith. I don't know if Achilles Smith even threw 40 touchdowns. I doubt it as an NFL quarterback. I'm going to say over-under is 10, honestly. Maybe he threw 11. He threw 5. Jesus. 13 picks. 3-14 record, 5 touchdowns, 13 picks. 46.6% completion rate. Passer rating of 52. Oof.
Bo Nix finds Cortland Sutton.
He got a game-winning drive in there, so that's all that matters. Was it against the Browns? Of course it was against the Browns. Of course it was against the expansion Browns. And hey, it was.
Look out! Bo Nix has space to run. He's going to get the first down and get out of bounds. They only have one timeout to work with. But be a good 2-minute drill here for Denver.
This is a game of all time. Phil Dawson, famous for not being a skill position player, had a rushing touchdown in this game. I would imagine that's his only rush of his career. Nope, he had another one with Cleveland in 2003, but that's his only rushing touchdown of his career. Huh. His only touchdown of his career.
Well, they gotta snap this ball quick. And they do. Screen pass, that is a loss on the play. They're probably gonna have to use their timeout there.
Carl Pickens was a real nice receiver. 4 seasons with 1,000 yards.
They're not going to use it yet. Actually, no. That's probably smart not to use it just yet. Just get that to the line quick. Minute left. Next with a deep drop back. Now he's going to run. Throws on the run. Finds his man. Bailey with the catch. I think he was able to stretch the ball across the line, but I'm not 100% sure. They gave him the first down.
I think I'm like 2 plays behind you now.
Oh, Nix is going to get sacked.
Yeah, I haven't even seen the 2nd and 12 play yet. I might be behind. I'm way behind.
Might have to speed up whatever you're using the watch there. Oh, that was a
nice play by Nix.
If it was a fumble, Denver recovered, but it looked like the ball was out before his knees were down. Yeah. Ball came out before his knees were down, but Denver player jumped in the ball.
Trey Hendrickson is so good. I'm not going to say that I picked him to be like this great player when he came over from New Orleans, but that was such a great move for Cincinnati to hit on a pass rusher as good as Trey Hendrickson for as relatively cheap as they got him. They didn't pay him like TJ Watt money, and he's been – it's hard to say as good as TJ Watt because TJ Watt is TJ Watt, but he's been unbelievable, and statistically he's been as good as any pass rusher in the NFL since he's signed his contract in Cincinnati.
They had to burn their timeout because of that sack, so they're probably just going to try a deep pass or two.
Do we want to do our power rankings at halftime? Or our
so.
Tier list at halftime?
I don't know if we're going to be able – we're going to have to – oh, my God. What is Bo Nix doing?
What is Bo Nix doing?
I'm not going to spoil that one for you. I'm going to let you watch the madness unfold.
Oh, God. 2nd and 17. Nix in the gun. Drops. Rolls left. Stops. Sacked. Big play from Johnson to get Nix to the turf. Denver.
He could have passed it.
Looks
he
like
had a man wide open.
Their last timeout, 3rd and 22.
Who's
Bengals
33 on Denver? 33.
Was that? That should be Javonte Williams.
He was wide open, and Nix never saw him.
Cortland Sutton threw up the mailbox.
Oh, that's such a lame play on 3rd and 23. You got to stay aggressive, to be honest, in situations like that. I get not wanting to turn the ball over and like giving the other team like 3 points right at the end of the half, but I feel like you got to stay aggressive because if you throw a deep ball or something and maybe you draw PI or maybe you do make a catch or something like that happens, that is going to be halftime.
I don't hate it here because Cincinnati is out of timeout, so you don't want to give them anything free. I don't know. I don't love decreasing Marvin Mims' like career yards per catch. Because he had like a little streak there that everything was like 30, 40 yards. All right, we head to the half. The Bengals lead 7-3. The Bengals have really dominated the game. They've had 2 failed 4th down conversions, one deep in the red zone, the other right, like on the fringes of field goal range. So could argue it should be 17-3. Could argue it could be 21-3. But hey, it's only 7-3. So Denver, they're locked in. Bo Nix, locked in. Sean Payton, locked in. We are also locked in.
That we are. Let's go ahead and share this Chrome tab. Oh, I clicked cancel by accident. Thank you, StreamYard, because your buttons are placed in spots they shouldn't be in. The cancel button should not be the one that is in the bottom right corner of the tab that comes up in like bright blue. Like that is so visually confusing.
Fair.
Okay. I hope you can't hear Chrome, but just in case, let me go ahead and mute everything.
Hello, Power Rankings. Tier
Power
list.
Rankings are out of whack because I got logged out of Tier Maker, so I have to. We have to go in alphabetical order, so we can just fly through team.
That's okay. Can we rename the tiers? We have Super Bowl contenders. Do we have playoff contenders? Playoff pretenders? Yeah. Then we have
playoff pretenders. And then we have regular season warriors. Oh no, we have playoff hopefuls.
I think we can like kind of kick out the playoff hopefuls now because there's so many teams that have been eliminated.
Yeah, true. Let's just call it
mid,
and then we have the LOL tier for teams that are eliminated.
Lots of losses.
Okay, so
Arizona, welcome to mid.
Aren't they out?
They are out. Is that just going to be every eliminated team?
That's what I thought we agreed on.
Okay, that's fine. Well, then who would be the mid teams? It would just be Miami and Indianapolis.
That's all it would be. That's not a whole lot of teams.
Yeah, because I think Cincinnati we would probably put above both of those teams.
Let's just put them in mid. Screw it.
Okay.
These will be for the teams that are either out or looked good but are still out.
Yeah, Arizona, just a strange year. If the season were only 2 months long, the Cardinals would be the best team in the NFL. But unfortunately for the Cardinals, they have...
How many times can you say that about the Cardinals?
Yeah. Unfortunately, they have to win games in November and December, and they are just physically incapable of doing that. It's just a bizarre circumstance that with Kingsbury, you could just blame it on Kingsbury, right? But now this is a organizational thing. They don't win big games. And this isn't like a Ravens joke of, well, if they lose, it's obviously a big game. They don't win games. They don't win games that matter. Like, when's the last time you watched a Cardinals game that genuinely mattered in that NFL season and they won? Probably the 2015 playoffs. Like,
yeah, I can't remember the last time they won. I can remember games that I've watched that have like meant something to Arizona, but I can't remember the last time I've seen them win. Like
they
late
don't,
in the year, week 16, 17, 18, something like that.
And if I remember correctly, they clinched a playoff spot despite losing. So they had this hilarious record under Kingsbury of games when they could clinch a playoff spot. They were like 0-8 or something like that. It's just a strange team. You have a lot of talent. You have Trey McBride, you have Marvin Harrison, you have James Conner, you have Kyler, you have offensive line with pieces. There's just the defense stinks, and Jonathan Gannon is hit or miss, and I just can't take them seriously. I just can't take them seriously.
I don't think you're going to see another blowout like we did in week 2 tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Rams are going to take the Cardinals that unseriously again, and I don't think that. Well, I think the Rams have just gotten themselves in shape, and I think the Cardinals have had their typical midseason collapse again. So,
yep.
And they've got it also doesn't help them that they've got multiple O linemen out, multiple starting O linemen are out for the game tonight, and the Rams have Jared Verse and Braden Fisk and Kobe Turner and Byron Young dominating. So,
yeah, that'll do that. Falcons, playoff pretenders. I think this is pretty clear. They're Michael Penix, welcome. He was better than the stats say against the Giants. He had the weird pick 6, or it wasn't a pick. It should have been a touchdown. It ended up being an interception. Kyle Pitts just tossed it to the DB. The defense is playing a lot better. A part of that is the opponents they've been playing, but now they're leaning into Bijan, and I think that's the sort of the unheralded part of moving to Penix is you acknowledging that you have other talented options on the team and you should lean into those options as opposed to Kirk Cousins. Let's throw the ball 50 times every single game.
Yeah. It's sort of like the whole, like you said, it's just like, that's like when you need to end up moving to the backup, it's like, okay, there are other pieces on this team that we can try something with. And if it works better, then that could be an indication of where the team might want to go in the future. So,
and this is not, to me, this is not an indictment on Penix long-term. It's just maybe this year it would be best to win with Bijan and Algier and a running game, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ravens. I think they're in the Super Bowl contender tier. The defense has figured it out. Justin Tucker has made his kicks the last few weeks. Lamar's been unbelievable, and they have something to prove. Is it this year? I do not know. I will never know, but hey, maybe this year. Bills also Super Bowl contenders.
Bit of a sketchy game against New England the other week, but I don't think that they got their shit together in the second half. So
the weird backwards pass from Drake May that ended up as a touchdown.
That was the goofiest thing I've ever seen. The literal goofiest thing I've ever seen. The backwards pass getting picked off and returned to the end zone. Or I don't even remember if it was a pick, but you get the idea.
I think it counted as a fumble because it was it hit the ground, as far as I'm aware.
The only other goofy thing from the Patriot, like the closest thing that comes to that, is the Drake May. Or not Drake May, the Jacoby Myers backwards pass to Chandler Jones.
Oh, God. But they also have the greatest play in football history when the Dan Conley kickoff return.
That's true.
If he had scored, that would be the greatest moment in American history. If Dan Conley scored on that play, that passes the Emancipation Proclamation, that passes crossing the Delaware, that crosses World War I, World War II, that crosses every moment you can think of from American history. That would have been the pinnacle of society. Everything would be downhill from there. Everything has been downhill from there, but for other reasons. That would have been the pinnacle of human accomplishment.
I mean, Braden Fisk had a pick 6 get taken off the board, but sure.
Oh, actually, Leonard Williams, that pick 6 against the Jets was pretty.
Yeah, that was up there too.
Former team as well. That adds to it, that revenge factor. It's actually sort of like Washington being a British subject, beating the British. pretty gangster.
When they win a game in the UK next season, if they play.
Yes. Yeah. How many SEC championships do you have, Great Britain? That's what I thought. Carolina, lots of losses. Bryce Young has looked better, but yeah, lots of losses. We're sorry.
Yeah, pretty much.
Bears, they've lost 10 in a row.
When you lose 10 in a row, I don't think there's too much.
That is quite literally a lot of losses. Bengals, they are
right now.
If they make the playoffs, Buffalo does not want to see them. I promise you that. Buffalo would rather see Denver. They would rather see the Chargers. They would rather see the Colts. They would rather see Miami. They would love to see Miami again. They have no interest in seeing Joe Burrow, Joe Shiesty walk into Orchard Park because the Bengals are winning that football game. I promise you that. If the Bengals make the playoffs, they're beating the Bills. I promise you that. That is my bet. I am putting $100 on that game as soon as it happens.
In the playoff pretenders?
Yeah, I don't think they can win the Super Bowl this year, but they can beat Buffalo. They might beat Kansas City too. They might beat Baltimore the week after that too. I don't think they're beating
any given Sunday.
Yeah.
Or Saturday or Monday or however it works.
The Bengals can really do that shtick really well. That they are, to me, this is the Steelers line that I use. The Steelers were always the worst team I thought could win the Super Bowl. The Bengals are the best team I think can't win the Super Bowl. Because they can beat anyone. They could beat Buffalo, Kansas City, Baltimore. I would not be surprised. And then throw Detroit in or Philly in or whomever at the end, the Rams in at the end. The funniest thing would be if they played the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Then they could the funniest would be the Bills played the Eagles in the Super Bowl because then they could lose all 4 NFC East teams.
We have confirmation, by the way, of another Nickelodeon wild card game.
Very nice.
SpongeBob game.
Very nice.
I don't know
when no Eagles on the call there.
He should be. Yeah, I imagine that it'll be him and Nate Burleson again.
Yeah,
they're great together by themselves anyway. But then you throw SpongeBob and Patrick in the mix, and it's just incredible.
Yeah, then you have the Rams Broncos game.
Oh yeah, Pat.
Were we live for that?
He wanted to cook. We were not live for that. That was on Christmas.
Oh man, that was
to watch a Rams that had already been beaten. The Kings have tied the game. Let's go. That's Tanner Janot. They were
like 5-12 that year.
Ruined by injuries that year, and then they get Baker Mayfield off waivers and they put up a 50 burger on the Broncos and
tough scenes.
I forget who their backup QB was at the time, but he was yelling at like their O lineman, and then he throws a pick six. So
I think that was Russ that threw the pick six, right?
No, it was not. This is before Russ was the Bronco, I think. No, you're right. It was 22.
Yeah, because we had the Cook joke.
Was it Brett Rippon?
I think so.
I think it might have been Brett Rippon. He was yelling at the O lineman on the bench because he had been sacked a ton of times, and then they put Rippon in the game, and he throws a pick six to Kobe Durant. So,
am I missing a play here? Oh, the Russ pick wasn't a pick six. My bad.
No, they threw it was a different.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, Kobe Durant had the 85-yard pick six. Okay. 51-14. That's crazy. I remember when Greg Dulcich was supposed to be him. I really liked him as a rookie. And then he got hurt.
I think we're getting off track a little bit.
I think we are. Browns, lots of losses. Week 17 against they are playing Miami this week. So they probably lose that one and probably for the best, and then probably lose to Baltimore week 18. Dorian Thompson-Robinson's playing quarterback for them now. They are really trying to punt away the season here. Nick Chubb is hurt again, which just sucks. He's one of the stand-up guys across the league. Another great year for Garrett. And just 3-14. You beat Baltimore, you beat Pittsburgh. I think they're content with winning those two games. Dallas is feisty. We can throw them in the mid-tier.
They're out, but they're feisty.
They beat Tampa. That's a big win. Not for Dallas, of course, because Dallas just hurt.
Yeah, but that's a huge, they play spoiler result. But because of that, Tampa now no longer controls their own destiny.
Right.
They need games for the Falcons to go wrong. So that's a huge, you're playing spoiler type deal there. So,
and they're going to end up with 7. They might beat Kenny Pickett this week. And for as bad as the year has gone for Dallas, they could end up 8-9, 9-8, which again, not exactly the result you want from a season. Like if you're going to be bad and miss the playoffs, you might as well really be bad and really miss the playoffs. But they've kind of righted the ship. They were 3-7. They've won 4 of their last 5. Then you have a favorable matchup against Philly, and you beat Washington the first time. So why not beat them again? So you have 2 division games to get to 9-8. And you go back through the season, they had a nice win against Cleveland to start the year. If you play the Saints game any other week than week 2, you probably win that one. The Baltimore game, okay, you were never going to win that one. you sweep the Giants, that's good. You beat Pittsburgh. You get annihilated by the Lions. Niners game, they were kind of in that one. The Falcons game, they could have won. Get whacked by the Eagles, get whacked by the Texans. You beat Washington, you beat the Giants. You're in the game with Cincy. You beat Carolina, you beat Tampa. So they're going to probably end with, obviously they're going to win at least 7 games, but they could win 8 or 9 and kind of salvage what was really a lost season.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those unfortunate things where it's too little too late, but you never know. I would have had fun watching the Rams play spoiler in 2022. So
yeah. All right, Denver, playoff pretenders. I think they're pretty clear. If they make the playoffs, it's not a given now. They're
currently playing each other right now.
Yeah, they only have to win 1 out of 2 though. If they can come back and beat the Bengals, or if they beat Kansas City next week, Kansas City. Maybe a half for the Mahomes of the world.
I have to update the ticker, by the way, because it's now the 3rd quarter. Oh, did that get caught? What happened there? Yossinas again, I think, did something.
Yeah. Shout out to Princeton.
Let's see. Burrow throwing. That's a deep pass. Oh, I think he held on, and then the ball came out after he was touched down by contact, so I think that's going to be a catch.
Let's see. Great coverage.
Yeah, he pinned it.
That's a catch.
That's a catch. The defensive back slapped it out of his arms. Like, he had it in both hands, like, up in the air, and then the DB slapped it out of his hands, and he still, it was loose for a little bit, and then he pinned it to his body.
That is a great play.
Before he went down. That's a fantastic catch. Wow. I'm glad I switched tabs in time to see that. That was crazy.
Yeah, that's a great play.
Okay.
Detroit Lions. Super Bowl contenders.
I think Buffalo's my number 1 right now, but
that's a take.
That's up for debate.
That is up for debate. Detroit and okay.
Detroit. Here's my reasoning.
Okay.
Detroit is hurt.
Yes.
More than you realize. They're playing well in spite of the injuries, but they are missing a lot of men on defense. And
when we finish the top tier, I want to circle back. Because I think all the top tier teams have one big flaw that's the reason they won't win the Super Bowl. Obviously, one of them will, but we could talk about it. Green Bay,
actually a pretty good conversation to have.
Playoff contenders. I think if you are any team in the NFC playoff picture, you do not want to face Green Bay. I think they would be underdogs in quite a lot of those games, but you do not want to face Green Bay. Houston, we need to make a new tier because they are like objectively not good at football. I've been on this train since like week 3. They stink, but they're going to make the playoffs. They're playoff pretenders in the greatest sense of the word. Their only shot is if Pittsburgh beats Cincinnati and they beat Pittsburgh. And that's their only shot to me. Because if they play the Chargers, they're getting wrecked. If they play Baltimore again, they're getting wrecked. If they play Denver, they might not get wrecked. But it's not a good football team. CJ Stroud is not good. He's broken.
I think it's also hurting that they have like the injuries to some of their key guys too. Like Tank Dell's out. Stephon Diggs has been out. So that obviously doesn't help anyone.
Signed Deontay Johnson. It didn't work for one AFC team. Maybe it'll work for a different one. Colts, They are mid. They're mid. Sorry to tell you, but they're mid. Joe Flacco might get the start this week, by the way. Anthony Richardson dealing with injury. The Colts are still alive as of now. They might not be alive when we're done recording, but they are currently alive. Good for them. Jacksonville. Boy, that team sucks. Kansas City, Super Bowl contenders.
I'm putting them at the bottom of this here.
Okay, that's a take.
I feel like any of these teams could beat them. I really do.
I think also the Chiefs could beat any of those teams.
That's true. That's why they're tiers. There you go.
Yeah. Chargers.
Pretenders.
They're like pre-contenders or con-pretenders. They're somewhere in between. That I think they are clearly better than that group, but they're clearly worse than like Green Bay. I don't know. Rams, playoff contenders.
Yeah, they're contenders for sure.
I think this is the highest.
I think they beat Green Bay, to be honest. I think they beat Green Bay.
That's a great game. That is a great game. I would love to see that. That's probably going to happen as a 3-6 matchup, by the way. That
matchup was such a fluke last time, I feel like, where you have the injuries and then like goofy plays being made by both teams.
The Jordan Love pick 6.
That Jordan Love doing his best Kyler Murray impression. Can't take the safety, so I might as well throw a pick 6.
Shout out to Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Except Garoppolo actually did step out of the back of the end zone, and now he is behind Matthew Stafford on the depth chart. So.
Oh man, that's so funny. Raiders. Good job on not getting Shedeur Sanders.
LOL.
Dolphins. I think they're playoff pretenders. I know they're 7-8, but part of that's like a Tua thing. Tua missing time, although he was horrible against Houston. Houston's defense is pretty good. I'm not going to lie, but we're going to get off the Houston train before I roll them into the ground. If Miami played this season 100 times and you could guarantee that Tua was healthy for 17 games, they make the playoffs more often than not, I think. Just Tua is not guaranteed to play 17 games, which is unfortunate. It's sort of the Baltimore conundrum that if you can guarantee Lamar's health, the Ravens are awesome. If you can guarantee Tua's health, the Dolphins are not quite as awesome, but they are very, 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 very good. But you can't guarantee his health. You can't guarantee Achane's health. You can't guarantee Waddle's health. It's a bit of a disaster in all regards. So Miami, they're still alive for the playoff hunt. They, so Indy beat them. So Indy has the tiebreaker over everybody. Critically, though, this is where the math gets goofy. Indianapolis would make the playoffs, but they have to be in a tie that avoids Denver. So if they,
probably be paying attention to the game.
I'm going to try to work this out for everybody. If everyone finishes 9-8, if all 5 teams, this is actually impossible now because the Chargers won, but if they all finished 9-8, the Colts would be in, the Dolphins would be in, the Chargers, Bengals, Broncos would be out. Of course, the Chargers won, so that can't happen anymore. Now, for the Colts to make the playoffs, they have to have Miami win their last 2 games because Denver beat Indianapolis head-to-head. So Denver would be ahead of Indianapolis, and that's full stop. However, Denver would have the worst conference record out of the group. So if Miami goes 9-8, or if Cincinnati goes 9-8, of course Cincinnati would beat Denver, then the Colts would get in on conference record. But if they're tied with only Denver, they're out. So if Miami loses, Cincinnati loses next week, the Colts are out. Or of course, if the Colts lose either of their last 2 games, they're out. They play the Giants and Titans, or Giants and Jags. I'm sorry. So that's the goofiness of the AFC playoff picture. Minnesota.
I'm reminded of the quote from Greg Olson when he said during the Ravens game, "I feel like I'm watching election night," when he's talking about the playoff picture.
Yeah,
coming down to the wire.
When you get Koronaki on screen, things are going wild.
Yeah, NBC brings in Koronaki for the playoff picture. That's how crazy things are. Before we go to Minneapolis, Minnesota, we have a 3rd down and 7 for the Bengals in the red zone. I'm going to watch that really quick because we do have a game that we're paying attention to.
Yeah, it is a live watch party.
Bro, under all kinds of pressure, down he goes.
Honestly, might not be the worst thing for Cincinnati just to get some points on the board.
Oh, we have a fight?
Fight.
Pushing and shoving. There's
fight.
a flag. Not a full-blown fight, though.
Lame.
Interesting. That flag might change the way things work. Where you got Minnesota at?
Playoff contenders. I have my concerns. I still have my concerns. This is okay. I'm gonna be fully transparent here. Fully transparent. I am kind of scouting the helmet here, and I see a lot of the 2022 Vikings in this year's Vikings. It's not quite as fraudulent. I am going to hold on to some of my priors with Sam Darnold, and I'm going to hold on to some of my priors with Brian Flores, and I'm going to hold on to some of my priors with Minnesota Vikings football. And I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl. I don't think they can win the Super Bowl. I think they can beat anyone in the playoffs, but I have a hard time believing Minnesota can win even 3 straight playoff games. If they beat Detroit next week and it's just 3 straight playoff games, I have a hard time believing they win 3 straight playoff games.
How is this team about to be the 1 seed potentially? Like they got to
finish 15-2. I don't have words. It is unbelievable. It is truly unbelievable.
Ridiculous. So the Broncos now are currently getting screwed over by flags because the only flag that got thrown on that whole crazy play was a illegal contact on McMillan.
Mm-hmm.
And on the play after that, Burrow got sacked, but we have another flag against the defense. I don't have audio, so I'm waiting for the graphic to come up.
Yeah. Tough break for Cincinnati.
Was it offside? Yeah, they jumped offside.
Yeah, but looked like he jumped.
Okay. Patriots.
I'm gonna put them in mid.
It's been a bad season. But
they're miserable. Miserable, maybe. I don't know. They're gonna fire Gerard Mayo. They're number 2 in the draft odds right now. It's bad.
We'll just put them in LOL. They're 2 in the draft odds.
Saints. I would put them in mid, but they just got shut out, so they are going in the lots of losses tier. 5-10. They should win this week though, but good Lord, they stink. Spencer Rattler, I'm sorry, did not play like an NFL quarterback on Monday night.
Ian Book 2.0, basically.
Yeah. Giants and Jets, you're a package deal. Bye-bye into the bottom tier.
Honestly, not sure which one is worse this year.
I think the Giants are worse. The Jets have like some positives.
Yeah, that's true. The Jets have Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams playing well.
Uh-huh.
Even in like the games where they're out, like they always give the Rams fits. It's insane, but especially like I don't know. True. It's just
Eagles, Super Bowl contenders. Congratulations.
The repeated attempts of the Jets going for it on fourth and 1 or 4th and 2 or whatever it was just ridiculous. Eagles, yeah, Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah,
I don't as of right now, unless it's Detroit, I don't really see another NFC team knocking them off. I don't want to face the Eagles in the playoffs.
Yeah, but no one wants to face the Rams or Packers in the playoffs. That's half the argument, though. Burrow, too high. Pittsburgh, I think they're the very top of the playoff pretenders list. They're in a slide too. They started 10-3. You're 10-6 now. Cincinnati needs to win that game next week, so you could really be 10-7 and potentially slide down to you'll probably slide down to the 6th seed because I think the Chargers take care of business against the Raiders. So you'll be at the 6th seed, and then you go to Baltimore again, and you just lost to Baltimore. Baltimore took your lunch money for the first time in like 10 years. So I have my concerns if I'm Pittsburgh.
We have OPI, it looks like, against Cincinnati. I don't even know what the call, if that was OPI or what was going on there, but the pass was incomplete and the penalty was declined.
Is Cincinnati going to go for it again?
But he is lined up to kick a 22-yard field goal.
There you go. All right. Seattle. I know they're still technically alive. I'm putting them in the mid tier.
I don't trust Gino.
Yeah, DK is not playing like DK. JSN's been unbelievable. That could be another conversation. Rank like the Jordan Addison, Zay Flowers, JSN, rank them. That could be a fun conversation. But I don't trust it. And as soon as I bought in on the Cardinals, they folded like a lawn chair. As soon as I bought in on the Seahawks, they folded on like a lawn chair. I was bought in on the 49ers being the best team in the division. They have been miserable this season.
Miserable, hurt,
so
etc.
I'm sorry to admit that the Rams look like they're going to lose their first playoff game because as soon as I buy in, they're going to lose. So I'm sorry, Jack.
But here's the thing. You were out on them at first, and then they've turned up.
I was so out. That might be the reverse curse. So you might win the Super Bowl again. So congratulations.
Oh, great. Let's go. LOL for the Niners. I don't know.
Oh, God. San Francisco. Yeah.
Top of the tier. Sure.
It's just unfortunate with all the injuries. And now.
But there's drama with them every single offseason. It's insane. Like, I don't know how they made. Like, I honestly agree with some people that are saying, like, the team. Obviously, I agree with it out of total bias, but, like, they might actually need to start over. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
Maybe not like sell the team or anything like that, but they do. I think they legitimately need to burn it down and build it around Brock Purdy.
This is the problem with success, but not ultimate success. So the difference between the Chiefs and the 49ers over the last 5 years is the Chiefs have won 3 Super Bowls, while the Niners have the NFC Championship game loss to the Rams. Then you have 2 Super Bowl losses, and they have the loss to the Eagles, of course. If you give the Niners 1 Super Bowl, if they beat the Chiefs in either Super Bowl, it's a totally different outlook. They probably win another one. You have people that want to stay. You have people that want to win another one in San Francisco, but you have a 20-game season and you lose at the end, and that drags on you year after year after year, and it drags on the players because they know that 1 or 2 plays. They lost in overtime in the Super Bowl. They lost after Garoppolo missed. Was it either Sanders or Debo deep? You have the interception that wasn't caught against the Rams. You have all the injuries in the Eagles NFC title game, and it's just year after year you're so close, and that can just wear on you. And I think Baltimore is in the same boat. Buffalo is in the same boat.
That's why the Saints kind of fell from greatness too. They've been in a lot of NFC championship games or like close playoff games where if 1 or 2 things went their way, like if they get the PI call against the Rams, or if they don't allow the Minneapolis Miracle, or like there's another no call PI against the Vikings in like 2019 or 20 or whatever that was.
Yeah, or you beat the Bucks. If you beat the Brady Bucks, then you might beat the Packers, and you're in the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not saying you beat the Chiefs. I think they beat the Chiefs earlier in the season or were in that game until the very end. But like, there's also rest in peace, Greg Gumbel. I saw that this morning. That was shocking to me.
Yeah, that was.
So rest in peace to the GOAT. But yeah, if you're San Francisco, and full disclosure, Baltimore's on the same path and Buffalo's on the same path. The only difference is Buffalo has number 17 and Baltimore is number 8. Brock Purdy is not on that level. So you don't have Brock Purdy. I don't think he's going to be able to elevate. Like if he had the Ravens receiver core, or heaven forbid the Bills receiving core, he's not elevating that to be a playoff tier.
Brock Purdy isn't bad, but he's not. He's not anywhere near the Josh Allen type level or Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson.
He's not even in this top 8 conversation to me. He's a good NFL quarterback. There's tons of value in being a good NFL quarterback, but you get maxed out, right? And think Matt Ryan. If Brock Purdy is Matt Ryan, can you win a Super Bowl? Matt Ryan is a borderline Hall of Famer. Matt Ryan won NFL MVP. He had one of the greatest statistical seasons we've ever seen at the quarterback position in 2016. He was an all-pro that year, Pro Bowler, like a real and legitimate Pro Bowler multiple times. Is Brock Purdy, 1, ever going to be that good? I don't know. 2, is that going to win you a Super Bowl? Is that going to get you to a Super Bowl? Do you have a shot to win a Super Bowl? I don't think so. And Matt Ryan's a borderline Hall of Famer. If he's as good as Phillip Rivers was for a decade and a half, that wasn't good enough to win a Super Bowl. That wasn't even good enough to make the Super Bowl.
I just feel like with the Niners too, it's also like a culture within that team of like they like you said, it drags on them not winning year after year. And you see it in the way the players act too, like between games or between seasons. Like freaking Diamador Lenore, who just got signed to a big extension in the middle of this season. He's on Twitter talking shit to the Rams after losing to them twice. Like
that's just colossal.
You have like all the players after the NFC Championship against Philly that are yapping on like podcasts and Twitter about how we would have kicked their asses if we were healthy.
Oh man.
It's just like everybody's just like, and it doesn't even matter who they're losing to. It's just there's so many people that run their mouth. Debo with the whole, I'm not struggling, I'm just not getting the ball, and then he proceeds to drop game-winning catches potentially.
Oh man,
it's that sort of thing that Kyle Shanahan has allowed to manifest within the locker room, and it happens again and again and again and again. It's just like, and not to mention, Shanahan this season is in the 8 years he's been the head coach of San Francisco. This is his 4th losing season. By comparison, Sean McVay in the same time frame has 7 of 8 winning seasons.
Yeah, I will say Shanahan's been to 4 NFC Championship games.
That's not bad. I'm not saying Shanahan should be fired. Let me get that clear. But I can understand why there is some frustration with him too, because he either has losing seasons or he has winning seasons where he loses the big ones at the end. Let's not forget he was involved with the Falcons in the 28-3 game.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Okay.
You're just in this goofy spot, and you don't have the quarterback that can bail you out of it. And I think, like Philly, we saw Philly in this spot last year. That you had tons of talent, but there's something missing, and Hurts didn't play like an MVP, and the team just fell off a cliff down the stretch. And I think San Francisco's sort of in the same bucket. That you have all the talent in the world. If you lined up the teams 1-53 and everyone compared talent, San Francisco is probably the most talented team in the NFL. The problem is your quarterback is not in that echelon of Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Burrow. He's not in that tier. So that gives you like a minus in these big game situations, in the Super Bowls and the NFC title games. And you've been injured this season. So it's a tough break on that regard, but I don't know if you're going to win the Super Bowl anyways. Moving on.
Denzel Mims fumbled out of bounds, by the way, but
Jets legend.
Went out of bounds. Yeah, he got the first down anyway, so.
Yeah. All right, Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield, Rachaad White. I physically am sick of you. I'm physically sick. I was so bought in. I said the Bucs are going to win out.
Splash being bought into teams.
Yeah, the Bucs are going to win out. I made a take on you stadium when they were 4-6. They were going to win 6 of their last 7. That can still happen, to be clear. They play Carolina this week, and they play New Orleans next week, something like that. No, they play. Oh, also the Eagles throwback logo, sick. Yeah, they play Carolina this week, New Orleans next week. To be clear, the Bucs should win both of those games. If they do not, it is an absolute travesty. You should burn the franchise to the ground. However, Tampa, a huge spot. All you got to do is beat Dallas. Dallas is 6-8. They've been miserable for most of the season. They're on their backup quarterback. They haven't won a home game in 10 years, it feels like. I guess they did beat the Giants at home, but everything's going against them. Everything's going for you. You have Evans back. Baker's cooking. Baker's 34 passing touchdowns. He's among the league leaders in passing yards. He's been tremendous. Jalen McMillan is balling out. Are there 2 Jalen McMillans? Because the Broncos have the slot corner McMillan. I got it.
It's going to be first and goal for the Broncos. That was a good run. So
Jalen McMillan is a wide receiver. And then there has to be another Jalen McMillan. Because
let's just get these last few names.
Jaquan McMillan. Okay, so that's okay.
Oh no, it's Jaleel McLaughlin. Okay, no, the Mick names starting with J are confusing the shit out of me.
Okay, Tampa playoff pretenders, Tennessee, LOL, Washington. I'm going to put them in playoff pretenders as well.
Washington, I'm putting at the top of the list.
That's fair. That's fair. And I think they're a big sliding doors team. If they don't catch the Hail Mary, I think that their season could have unraveled. But they caught the Hail Mary, and the season did not unravel. So congratulations. I think we have a clear top 8. And then 9 and 10 is probably Washington and the Chargers. Tampa in theory. Cincinnati in theory.
Oh, what a throw! Oh my God, Bo Nix. That was incredible.
Nix, Sutton.
What a
touchdown.
Throw. That was awesome.
Big time. Whoo, boy.
We're an extra point away from a tie game.
Big time Timmy Jim right there. That's a big throw. Big touchdown.
Oh my goodness. That was awesome.
That's strange.
And he absolutely kept both feet down. I'll hide that because it's no longer accurate. Extra point is down the middle. We're tied. Not exactly down the middle, but close enough.
It'd be like that. Denver is in a great spot here. That's wild that this is tied.
They could be 10-6 if they win this game.
Yeah, that would lock up the AFC playoff picture. All that would matter is seeding.
Talk about coming out of nowhere too, but man, you don't want to let Sean Payton get into the playoffs.
No, I said it. That's the one thing I've been right on the whole year. Don't let the Broncos in the playoffs. Now, if you're the 7th seed, you'll probably lose to Buffalo, but hey, they beat Buffalo last year. I'll throw that out there. They did beat Buffalo in Buffalo last year with Russ. They had the walk-off field goal Monday night. All right, there's our tier list. Before we move on, I do want to. What is each of the top 5 teams? What is their flaw? What is their big flaw? Mm-hmm. Jack, I'll start with you. Let's start with Buffalo. What is Buffalo's flaw?
I'm not entirely sure. I feel like it's their defense, if I'm being honest, because I look at games that the Bills have played recently too, against teams like the Patriots or the Rams or something like that, where their defense, it felt like they couldn't stop anything, and it sort of turned into the whole like, are they going to be able to make that last for the full entire scope of the game? And it's just like, I don't know. Like if the if the Bills defense is there in that Rams game, if they actually like show up and they're hot to like start the game and everything like that, because the Rams offense has been getting off to slow starts all year, and that was the one game they did not get off to a slow start, and it caught up to them. They got outrun by it basically. So I don't know. I feel like their offense is fine, but it's like if their defense can't stop a hotter offense, like if Kansas City or Baltimore gets off to a hot start against them, I feel like they lose those games.
Yeah, and I think you look at the Rams game, and the Bills had one drive in that game that they had the chance to tie or take the lead. As soon as the Rams went up 10, the Bills did not get a stop. And like, yes, the Bills scored every time after that. They were great. And Allen had 6 touchdowns and yada, yada, yada. I understand they scored 40 points. But you need a stop at some point. They allowed 90 points in 2 weeks. I know they had
that game right after that Rams game too.
Yeah, you had the punt block touchdown. I get it. So it's like, okay, but you still allowed 40 points on defense back-to-back weeks.
Who did they play the week after?
Lions. It was 40.
Yeah, it was that crazy game between was it the Thanksgiving game? It sounds like the Thanksgiving game.
No, the Lions played Chicago on Thanksgiving, but it was.
Oh, you're right. No, it was the week after. Yeah.
No, I guess it wasn't the week after because the Lions played Green Bay. I guess it was the week after that. So 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, the first week in December, I think. The second week in December. In Buffalo, to me, Buffalo doesn't have the talent. And not to feed into the Josh Allen for MVP narratives, because I think a lot of them are really stupid. Not saying he doesn't deserve to be MVP, just some of the narratives are really stupid. People will say, oh, well, if you take Josh Allen out of Buffalo, they're 3-12. I don't know if that's right, It depends on who the backup quarterback is. But what I do know is that Buffalo is not a very talented team anymore. And if you take out Josh Allen and you look at the roster, and I'll do the quick comparison with Baltimore, at least on paper. In practice, this has not been the case. Tyler Bass has had a better year than Justin Tucker. The Bills' defense, until quite literally Wednesday, was better scoring-wise than Baltimore the whole year. Go position by position, go bar for bar, band for band. Baltimore, you take their running backs, you take their receivers, you take their tight ends, you take their offensive line, you take their defensive line, you take their linebackers, you take their secondary, and you take their special teams unit. There is not one position outside of maybe quarterback, and that comes with a big asterisk because Lamar is a top 3 quarterback as well. There is not one aspect of the Bills that is better than Baltimore outside of maybe quarterback, and that's QB2 versus QB3 at worst. So that's my issue with Baltimore. Or that's my issue with Buffalo. I don't think they have the talent to win 4 straight playoff games because they have to win 4.
If I appear distracted, the Kings and the Oilers just went to overtime. So forgive me there. I expect the Kings to lose the game though. Now it's on overtime. They are 0-4 or 0-5, I think, in overtime this season. The Oilers are 7-2 in overtime.
I hate to hear that. I got a stat for you. It's not football or hockey, but it is. You might like it. LeBron James scored at least 10 points in every game while he was in his 30s.
I did see that actually, yeah.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Happy birthday, LeBron, as of Monday. All right. What is the Lions' fatal flaw?
Injuries.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think there's too much that needs to be argued there. They are one more major loss on defense away from like having a defense that might not be playoff contender worthy. Mm-hmm. I think offensively they're fine. Like let them cook on offense, but on defense, it's like you're down Aiden Hutchinson. You're down. I think Brian
Anzalone. I think Branch is still in.
No, Branch is playing still. Anzalone's hurt though. One more injury probably. I don't want to say it does them in, but it definitely is like, okay, well now they're just like you're gonna have a bare bones defense. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I feel like that's kind of enough said there. They if they lose like too many more names, then look out. They're in trouble.
Yeah, they just run into like a talent issue, and it's the different side of the Buffalo problem that Buffalo just doesn't have the talent to begin with, while Detroit is just hemorrhaging talent. Yeah, like the offense is really, really, really good, and Ben Johnson's going to be a very highly paid head coach here in a couple months, and that's perfectly fine. That's how that's going to happen. Maybe it's Chicago. I don't know. You have the fumble play that they scored on, the Laporta touchdown, but they have a couple big games coming up. They have San Francisco primetime spot, and then you have Monday, probably the Sunday night game with Minnesota, or at least that's going to be a standalone game that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, I feel like the NBC would and the NFL would favor a winner go home game like the Rams and Seahawks potentially could be. Although I don't think if the Rams take care of business tonight, assuming they do, oh look out. Yosevas was all by himself running down the field to the end zone, but there's a flag on the field, so we'll see if this comes back. There are 7 seconds left in the third quarter.
I'm still on my take that if you replace Higgins,
it's on the offense. It's going to come back an illegal shift.
Oh no, Cincinnati! I am so heartbroken for you. That's tough. That's not true, Mark.
I feel like illegal shift has been such a ticky-tack call this season. They're calling it way more often too.
Feels like it. Herbert's out here making the playoffs with a guy named Ladd while we've got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and still can't clinch a spot. Yes, that's funny.
This is actually the best the Kings have looked in overtime all season. I say that because they've made it through almost 2 minutes now, and Edmonton hasn't scored yet, and they've gotten a lot of chances, and they're coming in again. I'm watching a completely different sport.
Oh, man.
Shoot it! Yes! They actually won a game in overtime. Let's go!
Burrow.
Let's go.
Up the gut. He's going to run for about 20. Gets tackled. Unbelievable play. Joe Shiesty looking like Lamar Jackson. Big play as we head to the fourth quarter in Cincinnati. Tied up at 10. 3rd and 13. Joe Burrow says, hold my beer. Unbelievable play from Joe Shiesty right there.
Oh my God. I can't believe the Kings won a game in overtime.
And hey, guess what? It's game-winning drive time, so we can pop up the song.
Oh, snap. We can get the music going.
Here we go. I got it. Rock music in the background. Let's get it popping. Oh, yeah.
Down a little bit.
Okay. True.
This, just because it's going to be going on for a while, and it will probably get repetitive at some point.
Yes.
But
under like 5 minutes, we can crank it back up. All right.
The music that was playing when the Rams beat the Niners in the NFC Tunnel game. Baltimore's
Niners
biggest weakness?
Yes, Baltimore's biggest weakness.
I feel like their offense isn't as consistent. I haven't seen them play every game like you have, so... But I feel like there's been a little bit of an inconsistency there with their offense every now and then. Like, it doesn't explode every game like it should, but then there are games this season where they have exploded and they look great. I feel like they're that little consistency away from being able to win Super Bowl this season.
All right. Baltimore's biggest issue, their biggest flaw, is themselves. I say that. There's the joke that only we can beat ourselves and whatnot. It is true with the Ravens. The Ravens are the only team that can stop themselves. They will do the hardest thing. It's the keep it simple, stupid mantra. That's how the Chiefs win. They keep it simple. They keep it rolling. They keep it moving. The Ravens love to take the hard path. They love doing the most difficult thing, right? It's either Lamar saying, oh, I have to win from the pocket. I'm not allowed to scramble. And that was, for weeks, I was like, Lamar, you got space. He's been unbelievable. He has been the most efficient passer in the NFL this season. And he still just will not take the easy play sometimes. In the last couple weeks, he's been taking those plays. He had a couple big runs against the Giants. He had the big touchdown against Houston. He had a couple key runs against Pittsburgh. And just Baltimore loves to make things difficult for themselves. And it gets baffling in these playoff spots in these big games, unironically saying big games, when you don't run the football, when you have an all-time historic rushing offense.
I have to edit the... Damn, I just realized. It's the fourth quarter now.
Yes. First play of the fourth quarter. You averaged 5.5 yards a carry in both 2019 and 2020, and you crash out of the playoffs not running the football. This year, you have the most efficient rushing offense in the history of the National Football League. If you don't give Derrick Henry 15 carries in every playoff game, you've lost the plot. You have entirely lost the plot. All right, let's move on to the Chiefs. What is the Chiefs' greatest weakness? Greatest flaw?
I feel like the Burrow's going to get sacked on 2nd and 4. Their biggest weakness, I feel like, is also sort of the inconsistency. I say week in and week out that the Chiefs are good and are where they are because if not every single unit or aspect or player on this team is cooking, another one usually is. They will always have something going for them. Like if
Patrick it's like whack-a-mole in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Like you can manage to whack all the moles, but there will always be at least one that you have to hit back. And as long as that mole doesn't get whacked, they're going to figure it out. They're going to figure out ways to win games. Andy Reid will figure out ways to win games if Patrick Mahomes is not hauling ass every game, or if Travis Kelce isn't having all the receptions, or if Chris Jones...
They didn't have Chris Jones on Wednesday, it didn't matter. Butker missed an extra point, it didn't matter. Mahomes was actually brilliant in that game, by the way. He owns Pittsburgh. He actually owns Pittsburgh. And Cincinnati, yet again, has a 4th down. They're going for it.
I think they should go for this. I feel like this is a good spot to go for it. It's 4th and 2. They're around midfield. Tie game, 4th quarter.
Yeah, this is a big play. Because if you fail, Denver gets good field position. All right, let's see it.
Burrow dropping back. Oh, he's got a man wide open. It's a 1st down and more. Who is that?
That is Chase Brown.
Chase Brown. There we go. Nice play.
Finally. All right. Kansas City, I think their flaw to me is they are not leaps and bounds better. They've been uber clutch, and being clutch is important. That is partially a skill, partially luck, I'll be honest here, but if you are in the situation often enough, you are eventually going to lose. Now, a lot of ways, this is the eventually you'll win, yes. But eventually you'll lose. Eventually something will go wrong. Eventually there'll be a tipped pass or something. And the Chiefs love playing in these grinded out games. And they know they're okay with it. And they know they can win them more often than not. But they've lost 3 of them in the playoffs before. They have, 2 of them. The one loss, they got annihilated by Tampa. They lost to New England in overtime, and they lost to Cincinnati in overtime. And the common cause in those games, close games, and you trust Mahomes, you trust Reed, you trust Spagnuolo, you trust Kelsey, you trust Chris Jones, you trust everyone to close these games out, and occasionally you don't close them out because that's how football works. So that's to me my flaw with Kansas City is that they aren't overwhelming like they have been before. 2022, they were an overwhelming team. Yes, they needed to win clutch games in the playoffs, but those weren't their 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th clutch wins. Mahomes didn't have 7 game-winning drives because he didn't need to have 7 game-winning drives. Well, this year, you need 7 game-winning drives, right? The Chiefs and I'll pull up Mahomes here. Mahomes, 7 game-winning drives this season. Oh, T. Higgins, unbelievable. The other years, the Chiefs won 14 games. He had 3 game-winning drives and 4 game-winning drives.
I wasn't even looking. Did I score?
Yes, T. Higgins, his second touchdown of the game.
Ooh, nice catch. A little bit of a high pass there, but he managed to get separation from Moss, and he caught it.
Burrow, the 50-50 ball merchant. Oh, man. Famed legend of the show, Riley Moss, getting mossed. I'm not going to repeat why Riley Moss is famous on our show, but he is famous on our show. All right, Eagles. What is the Eagles' flaw, Jack?
I feel like I don't know what the Eagles' flaw would be, honestly. Nothing immediately jumps out to me as like, oh, this is the one thing that we like. If anyone can take advantage of their, because the Eagles have just been so damn good this season. So,
and then even like they lose last week, and it's like, okay, they lost in large part because Jalen got hurt, and they can kind of get got defensively. If you don't play scared against Philly, you can kind of get them because they like love creeping down. And Jaden like cooked last week. I know they had 5 turnovers. A couple of those were weird. Brian Robinson lost 2 fumbles. That's not going to happen every week. But I will say they're probably the most complete team, 1-53. They have a bit of the Niners problem that I don't know if Jalen Hurts is quite as good as like the Mahomes, Allen, Lamar's of the world. He's very good. He's a top 10-ish quarterback, but I don't think he's quite as good. He's not quite on that tier with the Mahomes and the Allens and the Lamars and the Burrows. That's a pretty electric group of players. So I don't know. They're very good. They're obviously a great team. They're 12-3 for a reason. And your only loss in the last like 3 months is your losses this season. Tampa took you to the woodshed. Tampa, I don't know. Atlanta and Washington had like 4th quarter game-winning drive, like inexplicable because Philly had drops. Saquon had the drop against Atlanta. And then Devontae Smith had the drop against Washington. It's like, how do you let this happen? And they did it twice. So just catch the football, and the Eagles are the best team in the NFL. It's pretty clear. Catch the football, the Eagles are the best team in the NFL. Will they catch the football? They have not shown they consistently can do that. But, like, A.J. Brown is amazing. Devontae Smith is great. I have no complaints.
Top 5, so I'm going to stop sharing.
Yeah, no complaints. Bengals lead 17-10. T. Higgins 2 touchdowns. Joe Burrow kind of going nice. I'll pop up the stats here. Let's see. Real quick.
Emmanuel Forbes is active for the Rams tonight, but Joe Nopium is going to have to play at right tackle because Rob Havenstein is not, which is kind of a big loss for the Rams for this game. But at the very least, they're not as unhealthy as they were in Week 2.
Fair. So, all right, Bo Nix.
It could be worse. God. That's a hell of a tackle.
Bo Nix, 13 of 16, 91 yards. Oof. Jaleel McLaughlin, 7 carries for 61 yards. He leads the way. Leading receiver for Denver is Devon Vele, like we all expected it would be. Bengals. Burrow is 25 of 33 for 232, 2 touchdowns, both to T. Higgins. Mike Gesicki leads the team in receiving, 8 catches for 64 yards. Chase Brown, 18 carries, 61 yards. He has 20 on the ground as well. Jamar Chase has been kept pretty quiet, 5 catches for 43 yards, long of 13.
Oh, let's go. UCLA beat Gonzaga.
Hey, relatable. I should have gone to that game, by the way.
I hate Gonzaga so much. Like the last 2 deep runs UCLA made in March Madness, Gonzaga beat them. One of them being on the buzzer beater. So that game was at the Madison Square Garden, I think, too. So. Or no, it wasn't. Was it?
The UConn one.
No, that game. No,
that
was the UConn game. This one was at Intuit Dome. The Intuit Dome is cool. I'm obviously not a Clippers fan, but I think that the Intuit Dome is pretty cool. Broncos are going to rush for a first down. That was 2nd and 5. Just over 10 minutes to go in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, ominous. This is T. Higgins' 2nd multi-touchdown game of the season. They lost the other one. Oh, man.
I actually just realized this is one of the 4 games that the Rams need to win. One of the 4 teams the Rams need to win for the strength of the.
And they would need Denver?
They need the Broncos.
Yeah.
Or no, the Bengals. I always get their names confused with a B.
Yes,
if the Bengals win this game, they just got to
Seahawks beat Denver.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this would be a strength of victory win for the Rams. One of the 4. We need 6 teams to win. 4 of 6 teams to win. This is one of them.
Okay. This is T. Higgins' 6th game with multiple touchdowns. Multiple receiving touchdowns.
And see, hopefully you win this one. I like that negative play. Second down and 10. Nix, I don't know what he was waiting for. That's going to be a first down.
No ties this year.
I want to say I'm surprised, but ties are rare to an extent.
Yeah, this is true. Oh, this is the 2nd time in his career, no, never mind. So T. Higgins has 2 touchdown games. He has 3 against Baltimore, 1 against Minnesota, 1 against Philly, and then out today against Denver. Both Baltimore losses.
That's a deep drop back for Nix, but he's got all kinds of time. Launches a rocket to the end zone, and it's caught by Mims. Oh my god, that was a nuke.
They scored?
They scored.
Whoa!
Marvin.
Unbelievable. That is wild.
I might have said Denzel Mims once or twice, but it's Marvin Mims Jr. And just like that, we're another extra point away from this being a tie game. This is a good game.
That's crazy.
I have slight rooting interest because of the Rams' strength of victory thing.
Lost one deep. Touchdown, Broncos. So much for the under 100 yards for Bo Nix.
Extra point's good.
5 plays, 75 yards, just like that. Bang. What a gutsy play. That is insane. Also, shout out to the Pop-Tart mascot.
Ah, yes, today's the Pop-Tart Bowl. So
yes,
the original Pop-Tart mascot that was baked at the last Pop-Tart Bowl returned. And I guess they're. I love how the trophy has a toaster inside of it, like a functional Pop-Tart toaster in the trophy.
Mm-hmm.
That is a feat of engineering.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, man. What a game.
Like I said, I do have the strength of victory thing for the Rams, so I am slightly rooting for the Bengals here, but I don't care because if the Rams just win, if they take care of their own business, and none of it even matters. But, yeah, no, this is a good game.
Yeah, props to Denver. They looked kind of dead for a while. And they answered the bell here. Tie it up.
Sean Payton.
Don't let him in the playoffs.
He had all kinds of credit to the O-line too. That you got to give credit to the O-line on that play too, because he had all kinds of time to throw that ball completely by himself in the backfield. No pressure whatsoever.
Is Trey McBride going to catch a touchdown tonight?
I hope not.
He inexplicably hasn't caught one this season.
That feels like the thing that would go against the Rams too.
He does have a rushing touchdown, but did you know there's an NBA Scorigami account?
That wouldn't surprise me. That would not surprise me.
Is it new? Yes, it's new. It started this season. I feel like it is the 3,150th unique score in NBA history. That's nice.
That's a high number of Scorigamis.
Yeah, they do play 2,430 games a year. Or that's baseball.
It's probably different when you're in a sport that has way more.
Yeah, and they have weirder scores too. 111 to 105 has happened 142 times. Huh. Is there a database for these? Yes,
there has to be. There has to be a website.
Yep,
if the NFL has one, then the NBA surely.
Score. Okay. Huh.
Joe Burrow under pressure. Oh, he's not going to get anything out of that. He tried to run for it, but he ran into a wall. Allen with another sack.
There have been 71,000 NBA games that are at least on this board. Joe Shiesty. The most frequent score is 108 to 101. Interesting.
There's been a lot of I've seen a lot of crazy hockey stuff on the feed as of late because the World Junior Tournament started, and Canada had an upset loss to Latvia in the shootout.
Oof.
So
5 sacks for Denver today.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Are we gonna have another Bengals game where they allow a lot of sacks and still find a way to win?
Jamar Chase has not been. He's been fine, but
this has not been an explosive Jamar Chase. This has been more of a T. Higgins game, I think, than the Jamar Chase game. But Jamar, there was a moment where he was wide open and he dropped the pass. So.
True. He had the touchdown. They said
if the receiver gets both hands on the football. Oh, there's another catch by T. That was a good one. That was a tight window. But yeah, if the receiver gets both their hands on the football and they don't catch it, that's on the receiver. Most of the time.
What a throw by Burrow.
That was perfect, and Higgins held on to that. Now, the Bengals, they're flirting with plus territory. They're not quite there yet, but they're moving the ball. Only 6 minutes left. Broncos only have 2 timeouts.
All right. Chase Brown, by the way, has been awesome this season. I think he's he's closing in on 1,000 yards. He didn't start until about halfway through the year, but yeah, 923 heading into today, but has largely been going off of late. 97 yards against Tennessee, 91 against Cleveland, 120 against Vegas.
Oh, Burrow looks Chase's way. He holds onto the football. Oh my God! Okay, I thought he almost broke loose again. 3rd down, but that was a good catch by Jamar.
All you can ask for, a good game. Finally, we get a good game in a standalone slot. Great tackle by Moss there.
Yeah, so I remembered we did not do the Super Bowl watch party because I was like, I don't want to be spoiled. Like, I don't want to hear you and your friends in the background, like, freaking out.
Fair.
And, like, something is happening and I'm, like, spoiled.
Has that ruined it for the Cup play, the Stafford to Cup in the Bucs game?
Oh, was that a fumble?
Now I feel how you felt.
Incomplete pass.
Oh, Burrow's over 250 again, by the way. Will he throw a 3rd touchdown?
It's going to be 4th down. He caught. I feel like that's a fumble. I feel like that's a catch and a fumble on the replay. He caught the ball. He took a couple steps. I don't know if he took 3 steps, but he definitely made a football move.
Do you challenge that if you're Sean Payton?
Sean Payton's thinking about it.
Oh,
his hands on the red flag. Red flag's out of the pocket. There he goes. He's challenging it.
1, 2. Oh, that's brutal, man. I hate the bang bang. 1, 2. I think he's like moving the ball forward a little bit. But if that's not a football move, then what is a football move?
He definitely braced for a hit there. Denver is challenging, so we'll see where this goes. I guess I can unmute it. I'm not sharing the screen.
Burrow's going to sail over 4,500 yards in this game.
I feel like I feel like they have a good enough evidence to overturn that call, but I wouldn't be upset if they didn't. Like, no matter how they rule it here, I can see the logic either way. So. Guess we'll find out.
All right. Hey, all you can ask for a good game, a couple hours on the stream.
Exactly.
Make sure you drop a like. Ring a ding ding, that Le'Veon Bell, that notification bell, so you can get
notified.
Yeah, notified when we go live and do things.
We're thinking about doing a Madden tournament of some sort. We tried at one point to do a Madden World Cup, but I think we ran out of time to commit. But I think we have more time this offseason, hopefully.
Yep.
So we're probably, I don't know if we're going to do a World Cup or a Champions League or just a straight 32-team bracket.
Yeah, kind of. Do you want to do like a group stage? That'd be nice.
Yeah.
So we get more than
like a group stage too.
That's a lot more effort. I will say that's a lot of games. But that could be a lot of fun. All right. If it's a fumble and Denver has the ball with 5 minutes to go, I think we got to crank up the music a little bit.
Yeah. We'll see what they rule it here. Maybe we could just do like an NFL Cup, kind of like the NBA Cup, where we organize teams in groups and then group stage, and then it's just a straight bracket from there.
I don't mind that.
Maybe not necessarily just 8 teams, but
yeah, could do 16. Do you like the NBA Cup?
I do. I think I will say they just came back for commercial break.
You will say the Lakers won it the first time. So
they did. That also helped my enjoyment of that. Darvin Ham is somehow undefeated in the NBA Cup. But no, I enjoy it because I feel like what it makes like these early season, like November and December games feel like they matter a bit more. So you kind of have a little bit of a reason to care more about the early part of the season when you think maybe all these games are early, it doesn't count. They did in fact rule it a fumble. It's 1st and 10 Denver at the 40-yard line.
Brutal.
And we can probably crank up the music a little bit more. Not too much because I still want to hear you, but get a bit more audible.
That's a positively brutal play.
Big time for a turnover to take place in this one. Anyway, no, yeah, I kind of like the NBA Cup. I just wish, it's weird too, though, in the sense that like there are games that matter for the regular season and games that don't. I feel like the group stage games should be the only ones that count because then when it gets to the knockout rounds, there are only 8 teams at that phase of the tournament, and it's like you get into a point where some teams will finish the regular season having played more games than others, and it just gets a bit goofy. So that part I would probably change, but I don't hate the concept of the NBA Cup as a whole. I think it's I like them trying something out of the box like that. I just think that it could be executed a little bit differently, but I don't hate it.
All right. Denver, 3rd and medium here.
3rd down and 4. Bo Nix taking a snap, drops back again, still has time, now under some pressure. It looks like he wants to run for it. Oh, he barely got there. He reached for it. I feel like I could do play-by-play for a career at some point, honestly.
That could be fun.
People always say that I have a good voice for this sort of stuff, and I disagree, but honestly, if everybody says it, if everybody else says it, then screw it. I might as well just do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a good game.
Oh, that's an insane play by Nix. Whew.
It's been noted, by the way, this has come up on my feed quite a bit, some baseball-related news that Shohei Ohtani is having a kid.
Yes.
So, hell of a year for number 17 there.
Yeah.
Gets signed to a deal with generational wealth, wins his first World Series, gets married.
Dad goes 50-50.
Goes 50-50, yes. Oh, I did not love that play at all. I don't know if that was the move there. Nix dropped way back and then just threw a check down and it got stopped behind the line. And then we get called for an ineligible man downfield anyway. But it's declined.
Under 3 to play.
Third down and 15. Tweet from Pat McAfee 15 minutes ago. This game is awesome. Finally. Thank you, football. Crowd is losing their ever-loving minds as they should be on third down. Oh, what's going on here? I think the refs are confused here because there's the marker on the side of the field that says second down. Yeah, it sounds like confusion from the refs all around. It is third down, let's be clear here.
Oh boy.
But we don't have another fifth down situation here. They have to get to the other 40-yard line. That's where Nix was standing when he took the snap. He has another deep drop, fires downfield, and it's intercepted.
No!
Oh my goodness. We're stay tied.
Oh man.
That was I don't want to say it was a bad throw, but it was badly placed. He had good power on it from the deep drop back, but his arm. Oh yeah, his arm got hit as he threw.
That's a brutal pick to Pratt. Oh man.
You'll see it on the replay. His arm barely got hit as he threw the ball.
Oh, that's what a brutal interception right there, and he'll run down to the other end.
Bengals needing a win to stay alive are going to get the ball back in prime 2-minute drill territory here. Nice throw to Jamar Chase. Oh, hold on to that football, Jamar. Oh, that's a huge play. That's a huge play. Bengals fans are loving it. Splash is not loving it.
That's just brutal, man. Oh, the absolute scenes. There's Chase.
That'll still be the 2-minute warning.
Tough scenes.
That is the 1-2 punch that demoralizes you, honestly. Like if I were a Rams fan and I watched Stafford throw a pick in that scenario, and then the immediate next play, the other team were to like have a huge catch and run play like that for a ton of yards, I'm sitting there going, I have no idea how the hell we win that game. And then with only one timeout too.
Brutal.
Yeah, Bengals only have one timeout. Or the Broncos only have 2 timeouts too. That's the more important thing. Huh?
Where will Joe Burrow end up on the MVP vote?
Probably 4th.
Okay.
If he's that high up, if he's like an illegitimate MVP contender. I don't know why Jared Goff is an MVP guy this year. Apparently, I don't think he's been bad, but I don't think he's been like the reason the Lions are winning games.
No. He might end up getting some 5th place votes, I think, or some 4th if the Bengals don't make the playoffs. I think the top 3 is pretty secure, being Allen, Lamar, and Saquon. And then beyond that, I think Mahomes is going to get some votes. Goff could get a couple votes. Burrow, Darnold, maybe Chase, Henry. I don't think any defensive player has been so standoutish this season, if that's even a word. So, who knows?
The commercial for the Rams and Cardinals game just showed the somersault touchdown that Tyron Williams scored against San Francisco.
There you go. Hey, you guys can score a touchdown against San Francisco?
I know, it's impossible. We had a comeback win against them because of touchdowns in week 2.
Crazy.
Or week 3 while we were hurt.
Hey, the Ravens, when they allow us safety on Christmas, they are 2-0.
Crazy stuff. Football's such a weird game. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And now they are officially inside the red zone with a throw to Brown. I wonder if they decide to just try and score as quick as possible, or if they try to burn clock here for a little bit.
Because he was pushed out of bounds, so that'll stop the clock.
It was
55. So not ideal by any means if you're Cincinnati. Not ideal. I think they could have handled that a little bit better. Like, I don't mind throwing the ball there. But you said first down?
No, it's not a first down. Sorry. I was looking away from my screen. So.
Okay.
Not a first down. I thought it was for a second, but no.
Like, I just have my concerns there. Like, you go out of bounds, like the outward route, it's just, you got to whittle some clock, and then you throw an incompletion on second down. Ooh.
You don't want to give them free timeouts.
Right.
But yeah, you're basically, that's what you're doing there, is you're giving them free timeouts. It's 3rd down and 6. Caught by Jamar Chase. That was a nice throw.
Well, that's probably your game right there. Denver uses their second to last timeout.
First down and goal.
Yes, Jamar Chase, the best receiver in the NFL this season, getting covered by a linebacker with your season on the line.
Yeah, that has frustrated me with the Rams in the past, because sometimes they'll drop Michael Hoyt into coverage.
Mm-hmm.
And he's so good at rushing the passer, but when he like has to drop in the coverage or like play those weird spots, it's just goofy. Broncos have called a timeout. I'm so happy the Kings won today.
Hey, there you go. Also, some stats here. Bo Nix has set 67 air yards on his touchdown to Marvin Mims. Which is bananas.
Oh, they're going to score. Oh, he goes down at the 1. I feel like Brown. Oh, he's not hurt, is he? Chase Brown took a bit of a hit. Oh, no. Chase Brown is in pain.
Ooh.
Oh, that's not good.
And that defeats the purpose of going down because you have to use a timeout.
They're going to get their timeout back. It says that they called a timeout, but they're going to have to stop the clock for injury anyway.
Yeah, so that'll be that'll
his
be
right leg.
Timeout. That's brutal.
Purposely went down at the 1 and his right leg kind of buckled as he went down. It didn't bend like weird or out of shape or anything. It was probably like it got, his foot got dragged in the turf as he went down. That might be like a hyperextension or something probably.
Ooh.
Hopefully that's all it is, but he hasn't gotten up yet.
And a brutal break for Cincinnati there that he didn't get off the field. Ouch. Because if he just goes in, obviously the timeouts don't matter because you scored a touchdown. So you'd have Denver would have 1:30 and one timeout, but you're down 7. And now you're 1:30, one timeout. So you're going to have less time, but you have to use a timeout instead. So I think if you're Cincinnati, your best case scenario, your second down play, say 5 seconds, timeout Denver, third down play.
Brown got up and walked away. He's walking away on his own.
All right, that's good.
You'd love to see it. Hopefully that it was just like a hyperextension or a stinger or something that wasn't too serious, but he is getting up and walking away by himself.
That's good.
But I think they're going to take him to the medical tent, so he's probably done for the game. He's definitely not going to be on this second and goal play.
So you're Cincinnati. Do you want to score a touchdown here? I don't know. Would you rather take 40 extra seconds off the clock, a timeout, then 40 extra seconds off the clock, or score a touchdown?
Denver only has one timeout. I would take the timeout off the board. They're going to score. No signal yet. Now they signal touchdown. So Joe Burrow scores on the sneak. I would have taken a little bit more time off the clock. I feel like 1:31. Joe Burrow hitting the gritty. Oh my god. I would have probably taken a little
84
bit more
seconds
time
for Denver.
Them having a timeout, I feel like they scored too quick.
I don't know. And I'm just going to throw this out there. Denver should go for 2 if they score.
I would have, at the very least, forced the Broncos to use their last timeout. After that, if you want to score, fine, so be it. Because then Denver gets the ball back with a minute left, with no timeouts, and they have to bum rush down the field with a minute and with 90 seconds left, basically.
Yeah, they have a timeout, 84 seconds. Might be more because I don't think 7 seconds went off on a sneak. So
field goal. The extra point's good.
89 seconds. My bad. All right, I can update the score there at the bottom.
It's funny too because I say funny, it's not humorous funny, but it is a bit weird how they were going to use that last time out, but then they got it back because of the injury to Chase Brown. So
yeah, unfortunate. So a bit of a bailout, a little bit of it probably saved 40 seconds. Well, it either saves 40 seconds or a timeout, and that timeout is potentially very valuable, potentially not valuable. It's just one of those things.
By the way, it took me until just now to mention this, but I finally got a legitimate pop filter for my Blue Yeti, one that you can actually fit onto the mic. I hope it makes me sound better because I haven't brought this up once at all, and I don't sound any different in my ears. But I like that I have an actual pop filter instead of the one that I had to there was a circular one that I put in front of my face in the old days of the show, and I had to screw it onto my desk, and then I would take it off every time we were done recording because it was just in the way. So I was using for the last several recordings. I was using a Blue Yeti with no filter. So
now I have mine.
Yeah, literally that's exactly what I have. Although I don't think mine comes off as easily.
All right, Denver, 70 yards away, 89 seconds. Can they do the thing? Can they book their ticket to January football? If not, they get the Chiefs next week. In a just
Nick's dropping way back. He's got time. Now he's running. He's running. He's out of bounds. Short of the line of the game. Clock stops.
All right, big time plays, big time moments. Bo Nix, rookie season. Can he send the Broncos to the playoffs? I'm gonna try to look it up on StatHead.
He's gonna run for this
Denver
again.
Rookie quarterback.
Oh no, he's not. He throws. Oh, that was a dangerous throw, but it's caught. Portland Sutton is out of bounds. Fun stat about the Kings' overtime win, by the way. This was the Kings had lost 8 straight games to the Oilers when they trailed at any point in the game, and they were down 3-2 today and came back to win. I'm happy with that.
Also, Bo Nix, if they win today or tomorrow.
Oh, another catch by Sutton.
So, if the Broncos win, Bo Nix joins John Elway, Peyton Manning, Jake Plummer, and Craig Morton as Broncos quarterbacks still lead a double-digit win season.
They're in field goal range,
which doesn't really help.
You need 6, or you need 7 actually. So, okay, this might be where they use their timeout. Cole got tackled inbounds. No, they're not going to use it. They're not using their timeout.
Before Nix, the record for Broncos wins by a rookie was 4.
Oh, that's incomplete.
Because Locke inexplicably went 4-1 and Elway went 4-6. Huh. All right.
Scott Hansen tweeting that the correct play was kneel at the 1 on 2nd down, force Denver to give up 40 seconds or their last timeout, and then go for the touchdown on 3rd down.
Yeah, that's... Oh, boy.
Yeah, and kick the field goal on 4th down if you don't get it, obviously. You don't... No going for it on 4th down territory there.
Oh, he had Sutton. He missed the honey hole shot. But that's a brutal throw.
Nick's throw. Oh! Williams caught it, but they're going to spot him short of the line of gain. His feet were across the 1st down marker, but not the ball. And the ball is what matters here. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's brutal break.
And they're going to use their timeout with 14 seconds left on 4th and 1. This is where you use your timeout here for Denver. I'm not sure if that's where I would have used it. I would have run up to the ground and...
Oh, it's 4th and 1.
Well, yeah, it is 4th down, so yeah, maybe that is.
You can't clock it.
I don't think they really do have a choice. You can't clock it on 4th down.
Oh, man.
But the thing is, if you convert on 4th down, it's... Oh, this is a bad spot for them to be in, because you have to convert on 4th down, and then you have to take shots to the end zone, but you have to, like, after you convert the 4th down with 14 seconds left, you have to run up and spike the ball.
That's not enough time to spike it. Unless you do like a sneak play.
It has to be. Oh, they're not lined up for a QB sneak though.
Oh man. I don't know if can you pull off a sneak if you have to get the yardage. Maybe you get bailed out by
launches it to the end zone. Did he catch it? Oh my god, he caught the ball. Oh my god, it's a touchdown.
And you're gonna go for 2.
They are absolutely going for 2. They've signaled
Nix
go for
rolls, 2. Fires.
Oh my god.
That's the DeAndre Hopkins catch. Marvin Mims. Unbelievable. What? It's like, oh, okay, he's gonna throw it to Sutton.
Wait.
That makes so much sense.
The ball is moving. No, it didn't hit the ground.
Oh.
That's a catch.
That is...
The ball never hit the ground. I thought it was going to hit the ground.
That's like the Edelman play in the Super Bowl. Not your Super Bowl, the other one. Meets the
I know what you're talking about.
DeAndre Hopkins play. Over 2 defenders. Over Mike Hilton. That's your speed guy. That's your, Tyreek Hill wannabe. That's not Cortland Sutton. That's not, Too Tall Jones or Harold Carmichael. Throw it up to the top shelf where the kids can't get it. You're throwing that to... I'm gonna guess he's like 5'9". He's probably not 5'9". Marvin Mims is 5'11". Okay, fair enough.
It's a close play, man. I think it's a catch. Honestly, I think he caught it.
Unbelievable.
They're like, I think what they're reviewing to see is like, was he still controlling the ball when he went out of bounds? But then there's also the fact that like, he caught the ball and then went down while being touched by defenders. So like, was he down by contact? Here comes the ruling.
Ruling on the field stands
as called, and the Broncos they've already indicated that they're going for 2. Bo Nix was pointing at the sideline holding 2 fingers up. Or are they? They're going to kick the extra point. They're going to tie. They're going to try for the tie. And oh, goodness. Extra point is good.
That is one heck of a play. And I would have went for 2 there.
I don't know why. So I never updated the second touchdown. So this said 17-17 this whole time. It should be saying 24-24 now.
That is preposterous. Oh Marvin Mims. What? Of all the players in this game, Marvin Mims, I
can't believe he did that on 4th down.
Marvin Mims had 3 career touchdowns entering today.
I was literally saying too, like, I don't know if they have enough time to clock the ball because you have to get the first down on 4th and 1, and then you have to clock the ball and then take shots to the end zone. And instead, they just decide on 4th and 1, let's take our shot to the end zone. And you have Mims mossing 2 guys at once to make the catch. That was insane.
That's crazy.
I can't believe that. And we're 8 seconds away from overtime. What a game.
That is outstanding. Wow. Craziness.
I hope that this game does not go on long enough to the point where it overlaps the Rams-Cardinals game, because the both games are going to be on NFL Network, so don't screw me over here.
It'd be like that. It do be like that. That is just an impossible graph. Marvin Mims, of all people?
Take the knee.
Oh, man. That is outrageous. Just outrageous. Oh boy.
StreamYard, because I feel like, yes, they added this recently where we can change the font of like the banners and stuff that are on the screen. That's cool.
Oh, yes. I think that's new. Wow. RG3 posted the Chargers fan, the plant industry plant.
I think that person's an industry plant, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. Industry plant list: hot honey flavored items. That's the industry plant, and dill pickle flavored items. That's an industry plant. I don't think anyone woke up and said, Yeah, I want dill pickle chips, or I want hot honey chips.
Cincinnati won the toss. They will obviously receive the football.
What? No way.
Because nobody would do that.
That is preposterous.
I'm also debating Manning. I'm not gonna lie, I think these Peyton Manning commercials where they like come up with random words that rhyme with his name, like verbs that rhyme with his name, are funny.
Peyton
Manning, calculating Manning, debating Manning.
I haven't heard those ones. I've just heard the painting one.
The other one they just showed was debating Manning. The Peyton one was funny though because that's like that actually sounds like his name, so like they make that joke in that commercial. So.
Yeah. Real.
Of course, nothing. No ads that will beat the Corona commercial, the Christmas one with the palm tree.
Ah, yes.
Or the M&M's Christmas one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I never met the guy. He does exist. They do exist.
That one's art. We should rank Super Bowl halftime shows. Not halftime shows. Yeah, Super Bowl commercials. Oh my goodness. The Budweiser ones. Budweiser has a lot of classics. Like the Budweiser. With the frogs.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Waza! That one is art. GoDaddy had some good ones. Doritos.
The NFL has come up with some good ones, like the Odell and Eli.
They had the Jim Brown one. The NFL 100, that commercial was really cool.
Oh yeah, the NFL 100 one, that was good, yeah. I mean, I wish that didn't air during a Super Bowl. The Rams lost, but it was a good ad.
It'd be like that.
So was the one after that, too. The Take It to the House Kid. I like that one. Decent return. He got across the 25. What other Super Bowl ads were out there that I liked?
All right, just a reminder on NFL playoff rules. Field goal first drive, the other team gets a chance to respond. Touchdown first drive, game over, right? Still?
Correct.
Because they only changed
the both teams guaranteed possession thing is now only for the postseason. But in this game, it is if it's both teams have an opportunity to possess unless the first possession ends in a score. Or obvious, like I like how the referee specified too. That's a nice catch. If the first team to possess the ball ends up possessing it for all 10 minutes of OT.
Sick Mike Gesicki coming in. That's his 9th grab, 74 yards. Balling out. Burrow's over 325 on the day.
I feel like the Bengals are still in good position to win this one, though. Because you're possessing first in overtime, but then they've moved the ball well for the most part.
They're over 400 yards.
When they've had to answer the bell in this game, they have done so.
They will be over 400 yards on this drive.
The clock management, though, at the end was just bad. Oh, I didn't jinx it, did I? No, I didn't. Oh, there's a flag. Uh-oh. That could be either an illegal block or an illegal man downfield.
Could be a hold.
Because Burrow broke free from the pressure and was moving downfield when they threw the flag.
Joe Shiesty.
Illegal contact on the defense.
Damari Mathis, dog. Ah. All right. Bengals moving the ball. Again, touchdown doesn't secure a playoff spot. They still have to beat Pittsburgh, and they still need Denver to lose to Kansas City, and they need a lot of other help, but it would be big.
Denver wins the game. They clinch.
Yes.
But I don't think they're out with a loss. But it'll make the road that much trickier. The running back gets the edge a little bit. Goes down in bounds.
All right, Khalil Herbert, Bears legend.
Chase Brown literally is giving OBJ vibes in the Super Bowl after he tore his ACL.
Yeah.
Where he did something huge to contribute to the game. Like Odell scored a touchdown and then he tore his ACL. And he was watching. Burrow's going to get sacked.
Allen, big play. The
oh,
Cardinals
boy.
Free agents, or the signing from the Cardinals, he has been tremendous. Like a Pro Bowl alternate type season from Zach Allen. Hey, heck, he might be a Pro Bowler this season.
Anyway, so like you remember when Odell was like on the sideline during the Super Bowl? I remember watching the mic'd up videos too. He was literally yelling, "Take me home" on the sideline, and I was like, I wish he could be playing in this game still.
Odell's a free agent, yes?
He is currently a free agent.
Okay. I thought someone had signed him.
Hate to be that guy. Oh, my feet just got up for a second. I hate to be that guy, but I feel like Odell is done.
Probably.
I feel like he is just.
Hey, Zach Allen again.
Zach Allen again. Odell has just dealt with injuries a lot, and it's gotten to the point where he's been cut from a few teams now and not really contributed that much.
That is a 4-sack game for Zach Allen. What?
We should be talking about that more, to be honest. That's really good from Zach Allen.
That is game like this, outrageous.
No way I'm going to lose this take that I just joined on YouStadium.
That is crazy. Zach Allen, 4-sack game.
Zach Allen.
3.5. Okay, 3.5.
Don't muff the punt. He did not. That was a good punt, though. Gets him back to the 10. Now we are officially in next score wins territory.
Yes, sir, we are. All right, we'll pull up the stat on that one. Most sacks in a game by a Bronco.
Okay, so it is win or go home, actually, for the Bengals.
Yeah, well, yes.
Yeah.
For the Broncos, it's not.
They just showed us the playoff picture, so. Kevin Harlan on the call for this game, by the way. He's fantastic.
He's calling both games.
He is indeed. That could end up happening, too, if this game overlaps the Rams-Cardinals. I don't think it will, though. That game, I think, is supposed to be a 5:10 kickoff Pacific time. It's currently 4:42 Pacific.
That's weird.
I thought it was supposed to be 5, but it's 5:10.
All right. Most sacks in a game by a Bronco since Elvis Dumervil had 4 against the Browns in 2009. And he's just the 6th Bronco ever to have 3.5 or more sacks, joining Carl Mecklenburg twice in 1985, Simone Fletcher in 1990 and 1992, and Doom in 2009.
Oh. Holton with a good tackle on Sutton. It's going to be 3rd down. Gain on the play, though, so it's 3rd and manageable at least.
Crazy stuff. And by the way, Denver gets a 1st down here. Then you start. This could end in like tie territory.
Yeah.
But no 1st down.
We've already gone through half of overtime almost. I didn't even realize the clock's been moving in this one. I just throws a whole monkey wrench into this situation. Nix with a deep throw. He's got a man. Incomplete. Just out of reach.
To be clear, a tie means the Bengals are out. And the Broncos would be in. So we don't talk about the tie scenarios very often, but in this case, a tie.
They did say something about a tie that I glossed over. So. Oh, that's just out of reach. Bengals can be in pretty good field position when they get the ball back. That's a high punt. That's a very high punt. Oh, my God.
Riley Dixon.
Dixon got hit and grabbed a little bit after the catch, but
you moron!
They're gonna call anything.
Hey, you could have had another fair catch kick situation.
Let's see. He calls for the fair catch, catches the ball, then gets hit.
More like
he did not throw a flag. Yeah, that was more of a hug than a hit, but I feel like contact there is enough for a flag.
Yeah.
Whistles are being kept in butts.
Yeah, he's lucky he didn't get flagged. I will be honest there. All right, Cincinnati, your season's on the line. 2-5 at home.
Catch by T. Past the 50. Clock's gonna roll.
Under 5 to play. All right, a tie. Season's over, Cincinnati. Although, ironically, it would be the second time in T. Higgins' career he had 2 touchdowns in a loss or in a tie. So I'm rooting for the tie, honestly, because that would be funny.
Maximum chaos.
Yes. Well, it would be minimal chaos because Denver would clinch.
Okay, fair enough.
T. Higgins' career, 6 games with 2 touchdowns, 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 ties.
First down, Cincinnati. Oh, they're pushing Gesicki forward. You do not do that. He was probably going to go down like...
Well, Gesicki's yanking him forward. 10th catch for Gesicki. He's up to 86 yards.
Let me see this again.
Burrow's over 340 on the day.
Oh, yeah, no, never mind. That was Gesicki getting loose and yanking him forward. Denver uses a timeout.
I don't know if I love using timeouts early here, but... I mean, I guess you need some time, but...
I guess they want to stop the bleeding a little bit here.
Yeah,
take a second, regroup, make sure everything's over it.
Back-to-back first down.
Settle everyone down, settle the nerves down a little bit.
Let's check out some McPherson stats here. Of course, famous for all of his made kicks in the 2021 playoffs. He's had an up and down season. He's at 73% this season. 3 for 7 from 50 plus. His career long is 59. His season long is 56. So you've already cleared that, Cincinnati. As long as you don't take a sack. As long as you don't take a sack. All right.
Oh, no. False start.
T. Higgins. Again. He had the fumble earlier in the game. Was it in the fourth quarter, right?
I think so.
Yeah, with 5 minutes to go, we had the fumble, and then the Knicks had the pick. And brutal. I can't remember the last time I saw a false start from a wide receiver. That's kind of wild.
Oh, that was the first time since 2015 the Bruins beat Gonzaga. UCLA Bruins. Oh, T. Higgins first down.
That's one way to make up for a penalty. Breaks the tackle, slung forward, nearly fumbled again.
Nearly fumbled. I was gonna say that could have been a fumble, but it looks like they ruled him down.
And Higgins has the 2 touchdowns. He's up to 98 yards. The Bengals' big 3 is going bananas today. Yeah, he was down.
Yep. Down by contact.
All right.
Of course, you should always go for the ball anyway, just in case, but unless you hear whistles right there, but... Khalil Herbert, oh my god! Almost got loose. He flew right by the pass rush.
All right, 2nd and 2. Denver's going to take their last timeout. 3:30 to go. 3:31 to go. My bad. All righty. Now you're just in don't screw up the field goal situation. Cincinnati has screwed it up before. You have the famous game against Pittsburgh. They missed the extra point. And this year they lost to Baltimore after missing a field goal in overtime. But big spot. McPherson, by the way, his only field goal attempt in that Baltimore game, the overtime game, was a miss. He missed 2 kicks against the Chargers. Oh, wait, no, it's Cade York. My bad. McPherson's on IR. As far as I know.
He's run the ball. We're not going to gain anything. That might be a loss, actually.
Cade York, my apologies. He was 1 for 2 last week, but he did hit from 50+. With Cincinnati this year, he's hit 4 or 5 kicks. And on the season, he is 4 for 7.
Just going to send Cade York in on 3rd down. They're not even going to waste another play on this.
Yeah, this is a smart play. If you have any sort of botched snap, you get the re-kick on 4th down. All right. Down to the wire, boys.
This kick wins the game. If he misses, they can try it again. But if they don't...
York from 33 yards. Right hash.
It's off the upright and no good.
Doink! Don't touch it, Denver.
I was wrong. You can't do it again. Oh, my God.
Unbelievable. He missed it.
Oh, my...
A chance to send Cincinnati into Week 18. Cade York doinks one off the left upright, no second upright, right off the flag. That's the crazy accuracy there off the flagpole.
You can try it again if it's a botched snap on 3rd down, but if you do that, you can't.
Oh, no. Oh, no. And that's when it comes back to bite you. When you kick on 3rd down, you could have wasted 40 seconds.
I feel like they should have made that kick, though. Let's be honest. Denver might just play for the tie here. These announcers are making a good point.
Yeah.
They could, if they play for the tie, they're in. Since he's out. I think.
Yeah, if it's a tie, Denver's in the playoffs.
I don't know about Cincy, though. I know Denver's in.
No,
I don't know about...
well, yeah, Denver would clinch the last spot. So
okay.
it'll be over.
Yeah, then
Miami would be out. Indy would be out. That's all over.
Well, I think we picked a good game to do a watch party.
Yeah.
I'm pleasantly surprised. This is a good one.
All right. What a crazy game. It's like the 4th and 1. You lob it to Marvin Mims. It's like a no, a yes. Cincinnati at various points in this game, heading into the Bo Nix. What's the word I'm looking for? They had an 89.8% chance of winning the game.
Oh, he's stopped behind the line. It's going to be 3rd down.
They had a 94% chance to win the game, 94.2, and they missed the field goal. That is truly, truly unbelievable. Can take the kicker off Cleveland, but you can't take the Cleveland out of the kicker. Wow.
Cincinnati, I believe, used their last timeout.
Yes.
So they could get the football back.
They could get the ball back. 2-minute warning.
Overtime?
Yeah, there is a 2-minute warning.
Okay.
Yeah, so people are complaining about the 3rd down kick. I actually like the 3rd down kick. Recall against Baltimore, they botched the snap, and then you have to, that's a 4th down kick, you got to go through with it. At least try it. This time...
But the thing is, when you miss the kick, then you don't get a do-over. So...
Right. Yeah, right. So if you had just ate it on the snap, if it's a bad snap or a bad hold or whatever, you just.
But he should have made that field goal.
Yes, I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying, had there been a botched snap, had there been a botched hold, something screwy there.
Bo Nix's pass on 3rd and 9 is incomplete. Cincinnati's going to get the football again.
Denver.
Of all times for Denver to do nothing on offense, that was not it. Oh my goodness.
That is bananas. 2:30 to go. The Broncos are going to have to punt it back.
Calling for a fair catch. That's a very friendly bounce. No timeouts, 2:20 left. They got the ball just before the 40. Probably the 39, 38.
Crazy. Crazy. So the Bengals really only need, because York has hit from 59 this season. Yes, he hit from 59 to beat, I think he hit from 59 last week. Yeah, he hit from 59 last week against Cleveland. So you just need about 20 yards, 25 yards.
Burrow throwing, caught. That was a good catch. Yoshi Voss with another banger.
And you're in to Denver territory with that one. Yoshi, 2 catches, 43 yards, 3 catches, 59 yards. Burrow to 378 on the day. And that'll send us to the 2-minute warning. Cincinnati's lives are on the line. Hey, guess what? 2 weeks from now, or 2 weeks from now, 2 days from now, I will be live in Glendale, Arizona, watching my Boise State Broncos.
People who are at the Rams game are walking around SoFi Stadium, and they're saying it's like 99% Rams fans.
Probably the first time ever.
Actually, yes, it might be.
Other Cardinals games.
The Cardinals are playing. Here's what I was going to say. The Rams do well when they're not playing a home game against like one of the top 5 traveling fan bases in football.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like Pittsburgh, Niners, Eagles, Cowboys, Packers, and Steelers are my top 5, I think.
Mm-hmm.
If they're playing a team like Tampa, like they played against Tampa on a Sunday afternoon game, and like against Tom Brady, I think that was his 2021, and it was a really good crowd. The Tuesday game I mentioned against Seattle, really good Rams crowd.
I would imagine the Raiders draw well.
Yeah, the Raiders draw pretty decently well, but I think that game was still this year majority Rams. Even against the Bills, it was a majority Rams crowd. Granted, there were still a lot of Bills fans, but it was still a lot of Rams fans for a game against the Bills, too. And the Bills fans also traveled really good. But it still sounded pretty Rams-friendly for half the game.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So the point I'm trying to make is that we don't suck at attendance. But when you put us against a team that's like one of those 5 teams that has like a top traveling fan base, then it's okay. Then, yeah, they're probably not going to get overtaken. There's a lateral by Burrow. We're going to get the first down. But yeah, Arizona, Seattle, they don't really travel great to SoFi, so this is going to be a very pro-Rams crowd. And I really wish that I was able to go. I am going to a Kings game tomorrow, though, so it's fine. I don't get to do nothing this weekend.
If Cade York misses, he's going to be wanted in all of Ohio. That's too funny.
Well, right now he is, but he might get another shot.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, he made from 59 last week against the Browns. All right. Now, for his career, he's 5 of 9 from 50 plus, 6 of 10 from 40 plus, or 40 to 49. So 11 of 19 lifetime from beyond 40 yards. Although he just missed from 33, so there's really not a win scenario here. 72%, below 72% for his career now.
Burrow dropping back. Oh, there's a shot by Joe Burrow. He's got T. Higgins. He catches it, and he's inbounds. Oh, what a catch by T. Higgins. That could be your dagger, potentially. He goes out at around the 3-2 yard line. They're reviewing it. Oh, does his right foot? 1 foot down, 2nd foot down. Ruling stands.
That's a big play.
What a throw by Joe Burrow and what a catch by T. Higgins.
Joe Shiesty.
First and goal, 1:10 left. The Bengals, as long as you protect the football here.
Yeah, he got... Ooh, that's a tough one.
Burrow's going to throw it, and it's caught. And that's a touchdown by T. Higgins. No flags.
Wow.
And that's their ball game.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
Shut off the music finally.
Well, the Bengals are still alive, 8-8. They need some help. It starts with a Kansas City win over Denver next week. Then Cincinnati beats Pittsburgh next week. And Miami, Indianapolis, they go 1-1 or worse in the next 2 games. T. Higgins, a 3-touchdown game, the first time in his career. Joe Burrow, 3 touchdowns, over 350 yards. Once again, that's like the 9th straight game he's done that. 8th straight game he's done that. Riley Moss drags him to the ground. It doesn't matter. T. Higgins throws the ball into the crowd. Wow. Staying alive in a big spot. The Broncos, tough scenes.
0-3 start. And that's, like I mentioned earlier, with me as a Rams fan, that helps us out.
Yeah.
Now, if any 3 of these teams, the Commanders, Bills, 49ers, Vikings, or Browns, if any combination of those 3 of those 5 teams wins on Sunday, the Rams are in, assuming they take care of business tonight. We got to take care of our own business first.
Yes, of course. Bengals beat the Broncos. Tough scenes.
And Kansas City, they just brought up a really good point on the broadcast, too. Kansas City is going to rest starters because they clinched the number 1 seed. So this could be the Broncos they're not dead yet either.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to come down to the wire.
Crazy scenes. Crazy scenes. Alrighty, I think that's gonna wrap us up for the day.
That is
any final words?
Go Rams! Gotta get this dub tonight. I'm looking forward to it.
Hopefully, the next time we are live, the Ravens will actually. I don't think the Ravens will have played again. Assuming we record next Friday or something like that. We could do another Saturday stream.
We could.
I think if there's active games, yeah. All right. With that said, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and ring-a-ding-ding that Le'Veon bell, that notification bell, so you can get notified when we go live like this or when we post other things. So good job, everybody. Good job to the Bengals. No good job to the Broncos. You stink, apparently, allegedly. But you can follow us on socials at the Sports Desk 99. You can follow me at Mr. Splashman 19. You can follow Jack at Starblade 125. Jack, send us home.
Thank you guys very much for watching. And as always, Super Bowl champion Aaron Donald trains with knives. We'll see you guys soon.